All right, looks like I am live. And how's it going, guys? What's up, Nilf? Nilf, you beat me to it already? You're so fast. Oh my God. Nilf. All right. I was gonna stream earlier and then I had hang on. I was in a conversation that lasted way longer. Nilf, I'm so quick and I'm in bed as well, so it makes sense. Indeed, Nilf. Indeed. All right. Let me present. Oh my God. Hang on a sec. Okay, I've got this one pulled up here. Is that showing? Showing. This is a dual stream, by the way, so there's a vertical and a horizontal landscape, portrait. World in Action, Playing with Fire, 1989, from maybe my favorite channel, archive of animal liberation films on the net. Documentary looking at animal rights militancy with particular focus on the campaign against the fur trade. Includes participation from Davy Barr, RIP, Neil Hansen, Nancy Phipps, John Robbins, Morrissey, and John Curtin, misspelled John Curtin. Has footage of the department store attacks. Okay, let's check it out. Okay. Got that. Got that. What's up, Jason? Nice to see you. How was your day today, Jason? How was your day, Nilf? It was good, Jason. It was a productive day. Got a cool interview done. Hopefully, you guys will see that tomorrow or the next day. Probably not tomorrow, maybe the next day, with someone I really like. So that was cool. We had a nice conversation.
My name is Neil Hansen, and I've served a 4-month prison sentence for my beliefs in animal rights.
What they do not appear to be able to obtain by argument with our industry, or for that matter, other industries, they are trying to obtain by sheer methods which are nothing short of terrorism.
My name is David Barr. I went to prison for 3 years for animal rights activities. I planted an incendiary device in a flood department.
Wear the white coat, you're a murderer! Murderers!
The people who are doing that have lost the main principle of animal rights, and that is to avoid suffering, cruelty, and death. They're risking it, and that's not animal rights at all.
Firebombs, high explosives, and guns have all been used this year by animal rights extremists. Tonight, World in Action investigates the growing violence of the Animal Liberation Front.
And lot number 13, carry on with these, carry on here at 23 then. 23 on these two is bid on 50, 22, 53, 50, 23, 50 now. 23, no, 3 is there, 23 is there, 23 and going. And lot number 18, carry on.
A fur auction at the Hudson's Bay Fur Company in London. They've been here for 300 years and made London the centre of the international fur trade. But now the Hudson's Bay Fur Company is pulling out of Britain.
Oh, what a shame. Aren't they, Tess? I agree. Yeah, it's sad to see that we're still talking about the same stuff. But hey, at least the fur industry is on its knees.
2050 now, 2050 the bid, all done at 2050. Fur trade, death trade, fur trade, death trade.
The great majority of protests against the fur trade are legal, but increasingly some are substituting violence for reasoned argument. The Hudson's Bay closure comes in the wake of an escalating campaign of violence by animal rights extremists. A high street firebomb campaign across the country earlier this year left one department store gutted and several others badly damaged. Tonight, World in Action reveals the full extent of the devastation caused by a bizarre and increasingly violent underground movement, the self-styled Animal Liberation Front. World in Action was invited by an anonymous caller to...
The Animal Liberation Front wasn't violent. They rejected violence. This guy is talking about inanimate objects. ALF was fighting against violence towards animals, living beings. This interviewer views violence against inanimate objects to be violence, which obviously is not violence.
Interview these four disguised men who claim to be Animal Liberation Front activists responsible for this year's campaign.
I guess that's not true. I guess, you know, if I took this pen here and I did that, I guess I was violent towards that pen, but nobody cares.
Refused a challenge to identify themselves, and an interview was recorded. The Independent Broadcasting Authority considered that the recording might be in breach of the Broadcasting Act relating to incitement to crime. Given this restriction, an actor reads their responses to our questions.
We're a small cell of the Animal Liberation Front. The Animal Liberation Front is a national organisation which carries out illegal acts to rescue animals and to cause financial hardship to those who abuse animals.
Why don't you take off your balaclavas? Wouldn't that be the ultimate act of courage and
He's not wearing one? Oh, it's a reconstruction.
bravery?
No, because I can't. I can rescue animals while I'm doing 5 years in prison, which is what would happen. I prefer to take off my balaclava. I prefer to expose myself as an average person on the street and look you in the eye and speak to you like. I don't really want to threaten in this outfit, but I'm forced to take these measures because if I expose my identity, the corrupt legal system would imprison me for my views.
Nobody's forcing you to plant firebombs in stores, though, are they?
They are. The people that abuse animals are. We're forced to take those measures in order to stop animals being abused the way they are.
Now, McDonald's has become caught up in the ALF's escalating campaign of violence. 4 of its restaurants have been firebombed this year. Their crime, in the eyes of the extremists, selling meat.
Over the last few years, we've almost, up to this point, decimated the fur trade. It'll be gone in a few years' time in this country. Big businesses like the meat industry will follow. Vivisection will certainly topple. Blood sports are going to go.
But ultimately, you're undemocratic and you're prepared to break the law. Isn't that the case?
There is no democracy as far as animals are concerned. It doesn't exist. Animals don't come into the democracy.
But the fact is, every other political movement, if it seeks to gain support, if it's a mature political movement, will do so through ordinary, law-abiding methods. You seem to reject that. Isn't that a very extreme, even fascist kind of behavior?
It doesn't work.
Fascist behavior. Fascist behavior trying to save animals. Suggesting that saving animals is fascistic behavior. It's just a very strange viewpoint. Hang on a sec. Did they say who made this? Didn't say in the description.
We can't operate within the law because the law doesn't work for animals.
The animal rights movement draws support from across the social spectrum. More and more people are joining.
No, you're thinking of the Keith Mann one, right? The Keith Mann thing. It was in a grocery. And Keith, who sadly passed away about a month ago. Check out that book by Keith Mann. Yeah, that reconstruction of Keith Mann walking through the grocery, who was like, little girl, you know how that turns into a hamburger? You like cows, do you? And she's like, well, And then he goes on to describe how they kill the cow. That the one, Nilf? It was pretty good. It was so good that rather than me describe it, why not me just pull it up? For the good times. Man. Sorry, I should just play the video while I'm looking for that.
The legitimate campaigns against vivisection, factory farming, blood sports, and all other forms of supposed animal abuse. But others have given up marching and are now taking a different road. These are the so-called activists. To some, they're a group of harmless, if misled, animal lovers. To others, they're a growing menace. In the last 10 years, the Animal Liberation Front has caused more than £25 million worth of damage and had more than 130 supporters jailed. A survey carried out this summer revealed that 1 in 5 of Britain's young people now claim to support the ALF's extreme methods.
That's awesome. All right, here's the video. Expert witness, Keith Mann.
Mummy, can we have these beef burgers? Mummy, please.
Do you like beef burgers? Do you like animals? What about cows? You know, cows that moo. Do you know how they make cows into beef burgers? Well, first, they smash their brains in. Then they take big knives and they slice the legs off one by one. Then they pull off all the skin and they hang the bits on hooks in a freezer. Just like one of these.
Got to watch the next scene too. I love this. Watch.
No, Mum, it's me. It's me, don't worry.
Keith?
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me, Nilf.
Officially, the ALF does not exist. It's run by...
Meth reveal the campaigns against vivisection, social spectrum. More and more people are joining the legitimate campaigns against vivisection, factory farming, blood sports, and all other forms of supposed animal abuse. But others have given up marching and are now taking a different road. These are the so-called activists. To some,
He was getting bomb materials. That's right.
they're a group of harmless,
And if you didn't watch the whole thing, you might not have picked up on that. But you had to really pay attention in that documentary.
misled animal lovers. To others, they're a growing menace. In the last 10 years, the Animal Liberation Front has caused more than £25 million worth of damage and had more than 130 supporters jailed. A survey carried out this summer revealed that 1 in 5 of Britain's young people now claim to support the ALF's extreme methods.
Officially, the ALF does not exist. It's run by close-knit cells. They don't look to anybody for any orders, and everything's done from their own close-knit community. If you've got, say, 2 or 3 cells in one city and all kept separate, one cell doesn't know another cell, then obviously it's going to be a lot more secure. And the only way it can be busted is for somebody to actually get caught or one of the cell members to turn and inform to the police.
Kevin Baldwin and Julie Rogers say they are no longer ALF activists. but they're both ALF veterans who've served time for their part in the 1985 firebomb attack on Rackham, the Sheffield branch of the House of Fraser. The store's crime, selling fur coats.
It starts off with just criminal damage to the windows, using hammers. Hopefully, economic sabotage, insurance is going to go up, and it did work up to 1985, 86. There's only one fur shop left in Sheffield now. They kept replacing windows, and so we went on to etching fluid, which was a lot better. You could etch to 30 £1,000 windows in the space of 10 minutes. And once that didn't work, it developed into a assembly device. Rackham's always maintained that they would carry on selling furs as long as they could, and would not bow down to what they call terrorist tactics. So Rackham's was an obvious choice to hit against fur trade.
How would you feel if somebody had been hurt or even killed as a result of that fire?
The only fire there was a small fire which was contained to a settee. It was smoke damage that caused all the damage to the stock. I would not take part in any action that was going to harm any life, human or animal.
The authorities...
Wait a second, but that runs counter to what they said at the beginning of the documentary, that you guys are increasingly violent. But he just said that he wouldn't take part in any violence.
...had a different opinion. After a massive police operation in Sheffield, Kevin Baldwin and the rest of his ALF cell were rounded up. Britain's biggest Animal Liberation Front trial began in tight security at the city's Crown Court in the summer of 1987. The trial judge himself received a letter bomb after handing down the heaviest sentences ever given for animal rights crimes. 10 people were sent to prison. Ronnie Lee, the founder of the ALF, received a 10-year sentence. The police believed they'd put the ALF out of business for good.
I think the number of incendiary device attacks on department stores and other establishments since the
What up,
trial
Spooky?
has proved that the ALF is now stronger than it ever has been. It's done more damage in the last couple of years than it has since its existence. It's formed 20 years or more ago. So I think the state, if they thought they were going to crush the ALF by handing out sentences such as that, they've been disappointed.
To be honest, I found it better in those days when I could debate the likes of Ronnie Lee in public, things like that, and we could discuss what the hell was happening. Now that it's been forced by overreaction to the authorities, it's been forced totally underground. And whereas people would take the risk of being arrested and go to jail for a year or two by breaking into laboratories, removing information, removing animals, now it could be 10 years for that. It's easier and safer for them to burn and run, and that's what they're doing.
The roots of the Animal Liberation Front lie here in hunt sabotage. For many dedicated activists, being a saboteur gives the first taste of lawbreaking.
In the early 60s, this was considered such a radical move, trespassing. It played such a revolutionary move, really, in the animal rights movement. It made us sit up and take account of what we're doing. We've got to take direct action. It's no good waiting for anyone else to do it. I'm here today, but I'm not going to depend on these other people. I'm here today for myself. I'm going to actually take part in saving animals' lives. For the people, this was considered such a radical move, trespassing. It played such a revolutionary move, really, in the animal rights movement. It made us sit up and take account of what we're doing. We've got to take direct action. It's no good waiting for anyone else to do it. I'm here today, but I'm not going to depend on these other people. I'm here today for myself. I'm going to actually take part in saving animals' lives.
John Curtin is such a legend, and still at it today, doing Camp Beagle outside of MBR Acres in the UK. Still to this day, all these years later.
I can't leave it! Who's touching him? Who's touching him? I can't leave it!
John Curtin says he's a former Animal Liberation Front activist. He served 2 years in prison for offences which included raiding a laboratory, desecrating a huntsman's grave, and threatening a fur shop owner. He's totally unrepentant.
He told me the grave story. It's on our podcast together if y'all want to hear that. It's a pretty funny story. Yeah, John's got some stories.
He refuses to accept that arson is a serious crime and believes that the growing ALF incendiary campaign is not only justified, but is also non-violent.
It's
a non-violent piece of direct action. The devices you're talking about, they're built into a little cigarette pack. They're designed to go off at night to produce some smoke, to set the sprinkler systems off. They're not designed to burn down stores at all. The only stores that have been burned down, Debenhams in Luton, Dickens and Jones in Milton Keynes, Dingles in Plymouth, they had faulty sprinkler systems. You can imagine if they had a fire in the middle of the day, they didn't have sprinkler systems.
Stores burnt to the ground, but you say that's non-violent.
No, they weren't designed to burn to the ground.
The fact is, the activists intended for some smoke bombs to go off. The result was the stores were burnt down. Now, that could have ended the loss of life.
But that wasn't planned. You'd presume that a place like
a
company like House
planned.
of Fraser, the House of Fraser, you would have to presume, really, that they have a safe sprinkler system, wouldn't you?
Well, how can you
it's a
presume
crime
that?
that
What up, Satan?
haven't.
Hail Satan. I don't think it's shut down, but I know they're dealing with that new law where they classified vivisection as national infrastructure in the UK. And I do believe that there were some arrests already just the other day. So, yeah, I should look that up while we're talking about it. But I don't know.
The belief that it's right to plant incendiaries as long as people are not harmed is fundamental to the ALF. In an attack at Christmas, firebombs were placed in 8 stores around the country. 3 in London, in Howells of Cardiff, Manchester's Kendal Milne, Rackham's in Birmingham, Liverpool's Lewis's, and Dingles in Plymouth. The campaign caused millions of pounds worth of damage. Bombs were also sent through the post to a scientist and a fur magazine.
How do you possibly think that placing incendiaries in stores is going to win over public support? What about a mother bringing her children into a store where you placed an incendiary? Would she understand your cause?
We don't intend to gain public support. That's not what the organisation's about. The political organisations work for public support. We work to cause hardship to those that are harming animals, to rescue animals from those people.
Despite their losses, high street businesses don't want to publicly acknowledge how serious the campaign is. Neither do government departments, chemical companies, universities, or the police forces we've approached. Since Christmas, the House of Fraser have quietly closed all but one of their fur departments. But the management don't want to talk about it. They pulled out of an interview with us on police advice.
So the fur department has stopped?
Yes, there's no more fur. No.
So I'm looking at Camp Beagle's Instagram, and this is from a few days ago. Today, we witnessed the first 2 arrests under the new amendment of Section 7 of the Public Order Act. The new regulation classifies animal testing sites as key national infrastructure and criminalizes any form of interference with the sites. What a disgrace this is. MBR Acres is not key national infrastructure. It's just a vile puppy factory. Apparently, they haven't learned the legislation properly. According to Camp Beagle, the female police officer makes reference to the wrong section of the Public Order Act. We appreciate you want to know more, but for now, that's all we can disclose. We'll publish updates as soon as we can. If you guys aren't following Camp Beagle on social media, YouTube, wherever, but mostly Instagram, I think, is where Facebook and Instagram, Camp Beagle. Yo, what's up, Jake? Much love to you, Axel. Can't protest peacefully in the UK. Exactly. And by the way, guys, as usual, hang on. As usual, I've got the dual stream going. So if I miss any messages, I apologize. It's kind of hard to keep track of 2 streams, but I'm doing my best. Jake, okay. Thank you, Jake, for the jewels. Appreciate that. I still don't really quite know what that means, but thank you for handing me your jewels. The family jewels he just gave me. Thank you. Appreciate you. But yeah, if you... Oh, I saw that, Nilf. I saw that. That's very nice of you.
No real furs, only imitation furs.
Looking cute, huh? That's it.
The legitimate national organizations reject the claim that firebombs are beating the fur trade. They say a well-organized campaign and slick advertising led by this disturbing David Bailey commercial has turned the public against fur.
Sing this one. I love that ad. I wish we would have more ads like that. It's like every year. I don't know if it's happened recently, but it used to happen pretty frequently where PETA would create a Super Bowl ad. And I was like, wait, I watched the Super Bowl. I didn't see the ad. So they create the Super Bowl ad. The Super Bowl rejects the ad, or the TV network rejects it, but people still get to talking about it. That'd be pretty cool though if they could get one.
The fur industry is closed down simply because fur is no longer fashionable. People know that fur isn't fun. They know the cruelty involved. And it's, if you like, softer groups like ours who are putting out the leaflets and the literature and the groups that are getting the posters up in the cinema.
I saw what you said, Neil.
Okay, the Liberationists will get a part to play. It's not as big as they'd like to make out. It is a part, but it's not as big as they make out. The public are against fur now because they know.
Nilf, what did I tell you yesterday? Remember yesterday we were getting deep and you were there, right? When I was like, you know, don't hold back how you really feel, because we never know how much time we have, right, Nilf? So whatever you got to say, just say it. You don't want, like, for instance, today, you wouldn't want to have kept that inside you, how cute I was looking today, because then I wouldn't have known. And now I can know, okay, I'll keep doing this.
About it, and they don't know about it simply when people burning shops.
For small furriers, the growing number of individual attacks is even more frightening. Paul Helfgott runs a small fur business in Notting Hill. He was working in his front shop one morning recently when 3 smartly dressed men came in.
One of them produced what appeared to be a gun, told me to stand perfectly still and not to try any heroics, asked me whether they were being videoed, which I advised
So
them
you
not to
thought,
wear, and where the rest of the staff were.
see, you thought you could delete that comment and that I wouldn't still have access to it.
And
it was works is even more frightening.
Hang on, I wasn't listening to this guy. Sorry. I got so distracted by Nilf's comment.
The fur industry is closed down simply because fur is no longer fashionable. People know that fur isn't fun. They know the cruelty involved. And it's, if you like, softer groups like ours who are putting out the leaflets and the literature and the groups that are getting the posters up in the cinema adverts.
What up,
okay, the
Felix?
Liberationists will get a part to play. It's not as big as they'd like.
How you been, Felix? It's been a minute. How's how have the cubes been? I assume you've been doing some cubes.
To make out up in the softer groups like ours who are putting out the leaflets and the literature and the groups that are getting the posters up in the cinema adverts. Okay, the Liberationists will get a part to play. It's not as big as they'd like to make out. It is a part, but it's not as big as they make out. The public are against fur now because they know about it, and they don't know about it simply when people burning shops.
For small furriers, the growing number of individual attacks is even more frightening. Paul Helfgott runs a small fur business in Notting Hill. He was working in his front shop one morning recently when 3 smartly dressed men came in.
One of them produced what appeared to be a gun, told me to stand perfectly still and not to try any heroics, asked me whether they were being videoed, which I advised him that we were, and where the rest of the staff were. And then they proceeded to put 2 bombs downstairs and 2 bombs upstairs, and those bombs turned out to be smoke bombs.
What effect has the attack had on you and also your business?
Well, the effect it had upon myself is that, as the police have warned me, I will have after effects, which I did have. I cannot sleep as well as I used to. And obviously, anybody which comes into our premises, I cannot help but view with extreme suspicion, not knowing what their motives may be. Now, these people are definitely.
If I was running a fur shop and, you know, I was getting people coming through my door, I would have extreme suspicion that everybody coming into my door was a very violent person. Didn't really care that a bunch of animals were murdered for an ugly coat, such as these.
Anti-establishment, and they are
Very suspicious.
putting and forcing their ideas upon us by if what they do not obtain by argument, they are trying to enforce by terrorism. It is nothing else but.
The active ALF cell we met rejects the terrorist tag. Undeterred by the threat of prison, these men continue to carry out their increasingly violent campaigns.
I think the animal abusers now should start to accept that it's taken a long time for us to reach that sort of level. Nobody's ever been injured. They're lucky to have got off with what they have got off with. And they're causing massive suffering to animals, and all we're doing is destroying their property.
What's up, Mary?
They're lucky to get away with it. That came over as very threatening and possibly intimidating. There's not a real undertone of violence to everything that you get up to.
None at all. None whatsoever, by virtue of the fact that since 1976, when the Animal Liberation Front was formed, no human or animal has ever been harmed through our actions. We've only destroyed property.
Their claims of non-violence were exposed as a complete lie earlier this year. Firebombs were planted in 4.
You stopped being an organizer, Felix? You still doing the cubes, though? I mean, still going to them? All right, Nilf. All right.
McDonald's restaurants around the country. They were all packed with customers at the time. This new wave of attacks was claimed by an Animal Liberation Front offshoot, the Animal Rights Militia.
Is McDonald's a soft target because it's so open, so easy to...
It is nowadays because of the increase in security on vivisection labs and fur farms. Vivisection labs were probably the prime targets at one bit, but more security has been pushed into all labs, and because of the more arrests of activists getting into labs, the ALF has had to change its tactics and go after softer targets. So McDonald's probably is an easier target. Yeah.
A well-coordinated attack on 2 animal research laboratories near Edinburgh earlier this year showed the ALF had become much more professional. Using new homemade devices, one lab was burnt to the ground and a fireman suffered permanent liver damage. No one has yet been caught.
That would have been planned to absolutely totally minimise any risk to human beings, to firemen. Firemen, their instructions are to not risk their lives when it comes to protecting property. No lives are at risk, protecting property. But I think they had some information that there might have been some security guards on site. And there wasn't, because it would have been planned in such a way that there were no people anywhere near. And that's the Animal Liberation Front, non-violent direct action.
Well, I would like them to join my men and make that statement. I'd like them to meet the men that fought the fire at Bush. I'd like them to meet the men that fought the fire at Roslyn. We have an entirely different opinion. We think they're idiots. And the idiots that are out to get and hurt people.
They say that they're not there to hurt anybody, they're only there to help animals.
Well, I'm not an animal, and I don't need them to help me in that kind of way. No.
You are an animal. A human is an animal. So you're an animal. And if you are suffering and in pain and enslaved, they'd probably be trying to help you too.
I need them to put the firefighter at risk. As a hard enough job, he's got a 1 in 10 chance of
getting anything else, Nil?
Firefighting career. And all that they have done is increase that, and in fact, it took out 4 of our firefighters in one morning. That, I think, is the highest loss we've ever had at any fire.
A fireman dies, our cause dies, and there's no doubt about it.
Nilf, come on now. Share how you feel. Come on.
The day after I condemned the incidents in Edinburgh, there was a phone call received by my office manager here, and he was told that if I didn't shut my mouth, our office would be next to be torched. I mean, if that's...
I'm not going to put that on the screen, but that's just so you know that I care about you, Nilf.
Animal rights people, then what the hell are they?
Scientists like Professor Ted Evans, who experiment on animals, have been the targets of some of the most dangerous attacks. He's searching for a cure for deafness. One morning, Professor Evans opened his front door to find a bomb on the step. Now, every day, he...
Really, it looked to me like he was torturing a cat. Which, I mean, if anybody out there tortured a cat, can you imagine, like out and about, not inside of their closed laboratory, hidden away? If someone was just caught torturing a cat, can you imagine the vitriol that person would face? Violent vitriol.
checks to make sure no devices have been planted under his car.
The individual who deposited it either delivered it late or didn't set it off at the proper time. And
Right.
It would have gone off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
It would have blown the door in and caused a lot of fire damage. Putting a bomb on a doorstep when they know that a paper boy is going to be putting something through the letterbox and the postman likewise, that I just cannot understand that mentality at all.
I cannot understand your mentality sticking things into the head of a cat. Can't understand that. But you do it.
But it's typical of all terrorists.
But it's typical of all vivisectors.
Cowards, and they don't care a fig for innocent life.
What was that? You were talking about vivisectors, right? Huh?
Terrorists,
Say it again.
They're cowards, and they don't care a fig for innocent life.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, the people who actually done that, who actually planted the bomb or whatever, they must have looked into work. They must have felt that it was the right thing to do, to actually threaten him, to scare him, to jolt him out of his, out of his way of thinking. Many scientists have given up their work through being threatened.
What would you say
the Fur Review, the
Or he just made it up.
Fur magazine, that's
Or
recently
put it
stopped
there
publishing
himself.
because they received a letter bomb, not primed to go off on it, but just the basic threat of it. When we're not dealing with it, it's not a game of cricket. We're not, it's not like a stamp collector and everything like that. There's millions of animals dying every day. It really is such a serious issue.
Do you have a fear for the future?
That's a difficult one. Inevitably, one does. The bomb incident, for example, brought us up with a severe jolt, although we immediately decided to continue doing the work we were doing. But nobody likes to work in this sort of environment that could engender fear and suffering.
You're forgetting someone again. The cat that we had footage shown to us of you sticking little sharp needle things into their head. What must that be like? Say it. Say it again.
Immediately decided to continue doing the work we were doing. But nobody likes to work in this sort of environment that could engender fear.
Fear.
And suffering.
And suffering. Fear and suffering. So that is what you subject those animals to on a daily basis. It's exhausting dealing with this mental disease.
Real suffering was narrowly avoided earlier this year at Bristol University when the activists used high explosives for the first time. An entire floor of the university Senate House was destroyed and £100,000 worth of damage was caused.
Terrorism must be fought and pushed back wherever it shows up, whether it's bombs in jets or bombs in universities or people shot.
Or people cutting animals open. How about that?
They're getting into cars, wherever it
was caused.
Terrorism must be fought and pushed back wherever it...
Terrorism must be fought and pushed back wherever. That's what he just said. So you just made the case for the ALF.
Shows up, whether it's bombs in jets or bombs in universities or people shot.
Or harmed animals.
So they're getting into cars.
After Bristol, the ALF warned that they were now prepared to kill for their cause.
Wait, sorry, what?
ALF warned
Universities or people shot as they're getting into cars.
After Bristol, the ALF warned that they were now prepared to kill for their
No, they didn't.
cause.
No, they didn't. That's not the ALF. You're talking about a different group.
The current bombing campaign has triggered the biggest ever ALF police hunt. Throughout the animal rights movement, mail is being opened, phone calls are intercepted, and people are being followed. Every police force now monitors animal rights groups, and intelligence is collated in Scotland Yard by a newly formed department, the Animal Rights National Index. These ARNI documents give detailed background information on 3 suspected leading activists, David Callender, Serena Rowlands, and Kevin Lee. They also warn of a possible takeover of the large mainstream animal rights groups by extremists. Until 2 years ago, the Animal Liberation Front was high profile. Their press officers distributed videos of their law-breaking activities. They even formed a 3,000-strong ALF supporters group, supposedly separate from the activists themselves.
The police launched attacks on the press officer of the supporters group, seizing as much literature as they could in the hope that they would close the supporters group down, which in turn, people, or so they thought, people would start thinking that the ALF had been closed down by the reference trial. It didn't work. The ALF supporters group and the ALF is still growing. More actions are carried out each day, and more members are joining the supporters group each day.
A new bulletin published in June shows the ALF supporters group is back in business, soliciting contributions and encouraging support for animal rights prisoners. The supporters group funds are held at this branch of the Cooperative Bank in London. Thousands of pounds in donations are currently passing through the account. One of the signatures controlling the cash is that of the jailed ALF founder, Ronnie Lee.
This is a treat for you, isn't it? Your afternoon tea. Come on, Joe.
Amongst Britain's animal lovers, there's no shortage of those willing to fund terrorism. Sylvia O'Brien has given over £1,000 to the ALF.
Do you know what that money's used for?
Yes,
I thought you were making a documentary, but you're really editorializing in this documentary, aren't you? Because
This is a treat for you, isn't it? Your afternoon tea. Come on, Joe.
amongst Britain's animal lovers, there's no shortage of those willing to fund terrorism.
Fund terrorism.
Sylvia O'Brien has given over £1,000 to the ALF.
Do you know what that money's used for?
Yes, I do. It's some of it's used for fines when they're flying, and also they need petrol, don't they, to get about the various activities they go on. Yes, that sort of thing. They don't have it for themselves. They don't use it for themselves, believe me.
Do you
In
think
fact,
that-
they use very little for themselves. They're so dedicated to their cause.
Do you think that any of that money is used to buy material for incendiary device campaigns?
What do you mean, my money? How can you say my?
The contributions of people like yourself.
Well, I don't know how it's used. We don't get a statement. I just give it. I don't.
Would you be happy for your money to be used in that way?
If it's going to help the animals, yes. If it's going to help the animals from their yes, I would. Yes.
How many people would have shied away?
This recent rock video shows a laboratory raid. Sympathy for ALF violence is growing throughout today's youth culture, and Morrissey is one of Britain's most influential rock stars.
Do you think that your video was endorsing law breaking?
Well, hold up. I like the lighting on this. I should start doing podcasts with this kind of lighting, with the dark on one side, just one light. I can turn this light off.
If there wasn't a law against it, it wouldn't be law breaking.
Hang on, let's see if this works. How's that look? No, hang on. No, other way. Other way. No, it's not. It's not good. It's not the same.
I find the law on these matters so fascist and silly that I can't really take it seriously anyway. So to me, it's not like breaking the law.
"20 years ago, the battle for animal rights was fought with bugles and horns. Today, the weapons are high explosives, guns, and firebombs. The damage now runs into millions of pounds, and attacks grow more violent with each month. And no one knows where it will all end.
And people have gone out, they've broke the law, it's got the headlines, it's got people talking, we've got millions of vegetarians in the country now, the fur trade's on its last legs. We've had like women's liberation movement at the time, black liberation came to the forefront, animal liberation. Our time has come now.
You did not create your whip. You swung it at my girlfriend.
If someone dies, our cause dies with it. And these characters who are doing this should know that by now. They're not, hopefully they're not totally stupid, but they're acting that way. And they've got to get their act together and stop what they're doing and do something more constructive.
We just said if someone dies, our movement dies. So what did he think happened after Jill Phipps? I mean, had that not happened yet?
Come on, get out. Start hitting people. Put the cameras in. Well, don't send her in front then.
No, you'd have more otters to kill, wouldn't you? And poke down and bloody be cruel too. People like you make me so sick.
Animal rights. Shame on you.
All right. Well, there's that one. I've got another one pulled up, or I will in just a second. Yeah, Morrissey always did, didn't he? I never really got into him. I should revisit it just out of respect. Out of respect. All right. What was the one I was going to do? We're working our way through these. There was one that was a debate. A Room with Two Views, Vegetarianism, 1996. This one will probably give us more to talk about.
I first witnessed factory farming 17 years ago, and the conditions the animals were in were obscene. Animals are treated like machines purely for profit.
In all the years that I've been connected with the agricultural and food industries of Great Britain, I am completely convinced that there is no deliberate cruelty in the humane slaughter of animals for human consumption.
It is my belief that money never excuses cruelty. I also believe that a vegetarian diet is much healthier, and that it is central to stopping environmental destruction and world hunger.
To me, meat eating is still one of the great pleasures of life.
One of the great pleasures of life.
Hello.
Hello, and how are you?
I'm fine.
Great. Now, I know what you're going to do with me, my dear. You're going to attempt to castigate and condemn this canny old Geordie Northumbrian when I categorically state that there is no cruelty whatsoever in the preparation and the processing of lambs, sheep, chickens, cattle, pigs, processing and preparing all these wonderful meaty animals for the 3 meals a day and a bit of supper for Mrs. Great Britain, Mr. Great Britain, not forget.
This guy right here. This guy makes me think of an old movie where there's like magic taking place and he is the wizard or something. or he's running some weird lab, or he's Willy Wonka, or I don't know. He is a character, this guy.
Getting the burns. Absolutely wonderful food, providing the essential nutrients we need for.
How does he make the claim that there's no cruelty involved, like with a straight face? How does that even work? All she has to do is ask you a few examples of things that regularly happen to animals and ask you if that's cruel or not. Now, cruel could be subjective, but I think we can pretty well establish what's cruel to a human could also be cruel to an animal, not really much difference. So this is a pretty easy one for her. This should be a layup.
Healthy life and living.
I think that most people in Britain, or certainly many more people in Britain today, are aware that there's an awful lot of cruelty in modern agricultural methods.
Not really, my dear.
I'll just give you an example of things that I've seen for myself.
Yes.
I first went vegetarian many years ago now. In fact, I was only 15 at the time.
Rather young to make a definite decision, was it?
Yeah,
not?
it was. In fact, I went round what's known as a battery unit, a battery hen farm where the hens are kept for eggs.
One of the most comfortable and humane ways of producing nutritious eggs 365 days of the year in the cheapest possible manner to give.
Well, let me describe.
Okay, so this guy's not going to be a serious person to talk to, but let's continue.
What I saw, and people can decide for themselves whether they think it's comfortable or not. I walk into this huge shed. It's got no natural lighting at all. The stench of the place is the first thing that hits you. And I had a headache within seconds because of all the droppings from the hens, which are not cleaned out. And setting at all, the stench of the place is the first thing that hits you. And I had a headache within seconds because of all the droppings.
What does he mean, never? What does that mean? What are you talking about? She said the stench is the first thing that hits you. He said never.
From the hens, which are not cleaned out. They're kept in these cages, which are about the size of a small microwave oven. And you could fit about one hen in that, and she couldn't even stretch her wings. But instead of that, they don't just keep one, they keep 5 hens in each cage.
Indeed they do.
They're on a sloping white floor, so that the eggs roll down. Cages, just wire all around them. Now, these hens in the wild, the jungle fowl, which I've seen in places like Indian rainforests, they lay about 12 eggs in a year. Now, these poor old hens in these cages have been so manipulated by human beings that they're laying 300 eggs a year.
Well, you see, the point is...
Just let me finish what I saw.
Indeed, carry on, my love.
Just let me what I saw. Because they're laying so many eggs in a year, they actually use the calcium from their bones in the shells. They leach out the calcium of the bones, and a third of these hens have got broken bones at any one time. And this first farm I was in there for about...
First of all, sir, you don't have a pause button. I've got a pause button. Stop talking over her. She's actually kind of knocking it out of the park right now. She's dropping some facts, some knowledge on this old guy. And I don't know, like, he seems a little mansplainy. Like I think he's gonna do that. Because he's got this real pompous attitude.
Wait 5 minutes, because I couldn't stand it, and I saw loads of
Also, she's not your dear.
dead hens in the cages. They hadn't bothered to move, and so that was when I first decided I'm not going to pay anybody to keep these animals in these conditions, and it was horrific. And everybody that went round there agreed it was truly the worst thing that they'd ever seen.
Well,
and I've seen it many times since over the years.
And you're very sincere young woman, as indeed you should be. You remind me of me.
What did I say, guys? Oh, you poor, sensitive, delicate flower.
Your wife in many instances. But the battery house, you're
many
going
times
on,
since
my
over the
dear,
years.
and you're very sincere young woman, as indeed you should be. You remind me of my wife in many instances. But the battery house you went into, there should be no smell whatsoever of droppings because they're a fully automated.
Who is he? Wait. A farmer. No smell. No smell on farms.
Movable trays that take away the droppings 24 hours a day. And these happy hens, they're sitting
Happy hens.
all amongst their friends.
Oh, yeah. I know that's what me and my friends like to do. We like to get into telephone booths. I know you know what a telephone booth is. This is your era. But we like to go in telephone booths, me and four of my friends. And we just like to get in there and make no smell. That's what we do. Never any smell in that 5-person telephone booth. It's very comfortable.
Clucking to each other. Chup, 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 chup. They're in an atmosphere, dear, of a balmy summer's day.
No,
they've
that
got
is not true
constant
at all.
food.
Well, why-
They've got constant water in front of them. They've got a balanced diet, which contains somewhere in the region about 14% protein. I don't want to bore you with technicalities, but the calcium in the food is enough to keep them happy. And today, Safeways, Sainsbury's, Asda, all the supermarkets, they want eggs, constant quantities of quality graded produce coming into their stores every day of the year. They want to keep the flow of food into the supermarket shelves constant. So you have to have a controlled, constant environment. Now, you're talking, my love, about the jungle fowl in the Indian rainforest. I mean, I've never seen an Indian rainforest, so I don't know. But I live up in North Northumberland, lovely little village called Sea Houses. I used to keep free-range hens. I used to keep Welsummers, Barney Veldes, White Wyandottes, Rhode Island Reds. And you know what happened come the end of September, right until the end of March? The wind was sweeping in from the North Sea.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to him. I was looking at y'all's comments. What's up, Alicia? Nice to see you.
Talking you.
Let me hear this.
Women, and there is about 14%. There.
Guys, my dear is about to start speaking. I need to listen to my lovely here.
In an atmosphere, dear, of a balmy summer's day.
No,
they've
that
got
is not true
constant
at all.
food.
Well, why-
They've got constant water in front of them. They've got a balanced diet, which contains somewhere in the region about 14% protein. I don't want to bore you with technicalities, but the calcium in the food
You wouldn't want to bore this simple woman with technicalities. She probably couldn't understand that anyway.
is enough to keep them happy. And today, Safeways, Sainsbury's, Asda, all the supermarkets, they want eggs, constant quantities of quality graded produce coming into their stores every day of the year. They want to keep the flow of food into the supermarket shelves constant. So you have to have a controlled, constant environment. Now, you're talking, my love, about the jungle fowl in the Indian rainforest. I mean, I've never seen an Indian rainforest, so I don't know. But I live up in North Northumberland, lovely little village called Sea Houses. I used to keep free-range hens. I used to keep Welsummers, Barney Veldes, White Wyandottes, Rhode Island Reds. And you know what happened come the end of September, right until the end of March?
Tell me,
the
my
wind
love.
was sweeping in from the North Sea. It was coming down from the Cheviots, blanched with rain. These poor hens huddling together.
Yeah. So maybe you shouldn't have enslaved them where they didn't want to be.
The majority of the food intake had to go to keep themselves warm. There was no eggs. We didn't get any eggs. And you can't satisfy supermarket orders if you haven't got any eggs.
No, you
Now,
can't. You cannot
on the
satisfy.
17th of February, a
You've-
year
you've-
last
you've
the
had your say on
17th of
this.
February, a terrible disaster struck my small flock of 27 hens. I got up one morning, got the dog out, went up to the hen run, and do you know what was there? 17 decimated, destroyed carcasses They're
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have put them there.
being ravaged to death by Reynolds the fox. And
Well, that's
disease
natural.
hits them.
Free range hens.
Yes.
Free range hens. They live a much more natural life if you keep
It's
them
not
genuinely.
natural to have
If
your
you keep them
your neck
genuinely
bitten off by a fox.
Of course, it's natural. That's the natural order of things. That
Well, of course,
foxes
we
eat
keep the
hens.
No. There is nothing natural about enslaving hens, which is what he's doing, calling them free range and letting them be eaten by foxes. No, that's not natural. That's animal exploitation, the same as what we were talking before. It's the same thing.
Going, to keep the foxes down.
But what is totally unnatural is to keep
nowadays.
What is totally unnatural is to keep 5 hens to a cage where they cannot move, where
They can
they
move about, they're all
cannot move,
happy,
they cannot
dear.
even stretch their wings. They're denied the most basic freedom. And more than that, if you just let me speak, please
sorry.
don't
Yes,
interrupt.
carry on, my love. Yes, go
where
on,
they can't
yes.
stretch their wings, where they're fed an
Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you, but please carry on. Carry on, my love.
Unnatural diet. Yes, it gives them all the nutrients, but they still leach all the calcium
Never.
out. They have broken bones.
Never.
And then they're slaughtered in
no.
conditions. Let me tell you about
Medea.
slaughter. You say
Medea, you're
that
talking a
slaughter is
lot.
always humane.
Yes, it is.
I totally object to that because I know for a fact
sorry.
slaughter is diet. They do not move. Keep
Now keep the
hens.
hunt going, to keep the foxes down. But
But
you get
what is
people
totally
even
unnatural
oppose and
is to
hunt them
keep
nowadays.
what is totally unnatural is to keep 5 hens to a cage where they cannot move, where
They can
they
move about,
they
they're all
cannot move,
happy,
they cannot
dear.
even stretch their wings. They're denied the most
No,
basic
no.
freedom.
They
And
wouldn't.
more than that, if you just let me speak,
Oh,
please
sorry.
don't
Yes,
interrupt.
carry on, my love. Yes, go
where
on.
they can't stretch their wings, where they're fed an unnatural diet. Yes, it gives them all the nutrients, but they still leach all the calcium out. They have broken bones, and then they're slaughtered in conditions. Let me tell you about slaughter. You say that slaughter is always humane.
Yes, it is.
I totally object to that because I know for a fact that it's almost never humane. You think about lambs going to slaughter.
Lovely spring lamb had a...
You think about lambs going to
That's our life, guys. That's our life. That's what's happening right now to our lives. Oh, man.
slaughter.
Lovely spring lamb had a joint of that.
No, you stand outside a slaughterhouse. Most people don't even want to think about slaughter. They find it too horrific to even think about, yet alone talk about. And the places that I've seen, there's a good reason for that. Every single slaughterhouse I've visited.
How many slaughterhouses have you visited, my dear, and where were they, and under whose regulations were they operating?
One of the most recent that I saw was a slaughterhouse that's in the Potteries, in fact. And
Can you name it?
No, I'm not going to name it for good reason.
Well, I'll tell you why, because each and every slaughterhouse
and what
is
happens in those
subject to the most
slaughterhouses?
stringent regulations.
What happens in those
laid down by the
slaughterhouses is
government.
that animals like sheep, lambs, cows, pigs, they're supposed to be made unconscious before they're hung upside down by the back leg. They go along a conveyor belt and then they have the throat slit. What happens all the time is that they're not made fully unconscious.
All the time,
They're
dear,
hung
all the
upside
time.
down. They go to have the throat slit while they know exactly what's happening to them.
True.
There was a study done
Absolutely
actually
not
by
true.
the government on 10,000 lambs and
Can
sheep.
you quote
On
this study, please?
Of course.
What's its title?
It
Now,
was
don't-
published. It was published in one of the veterinary journals.
Can we have the
and
title?
if you want the title, contact Viva. It's the charity that I run, and
You see,
it's all
it's
referenced.
so easy to
Anyway,
say
they went
there
to
was a
10,000
report and then you
slaughterhouses.
can't quote the title
There was
and the number.
10,000 sheep at 40 slaughterhouses throughout the UK.
Well, she's actually talking about studies now, which you have not done. You've just made these weird claims that there's nothing cruel that happens in slaughterhouses or battery cages. Battery cages. That's what he's defending. Most people don't even bother. They don't try. They don't try to defend that. Most people are just like, yeah, that's cruel, but I buy free range.
The
Never.
reason that they were looking at this is because
Yes.
they wanted to find out whether sheep indeed were unconscious when they had the throat slit.
And they are.
And they found that almost in every single case, they were not. There's a reason for this. Sheep, they put like tongs on either side of the head. They're supposed to put an electric shock through the brain. What the slaughterman does, they do not.
I'm sorry. That was a good one, Nilf. Was that you? That was a good one. You got me on that one. Respect. Respect. But I'm trying to focus, Nilf. Okay, come on now.
Whole at 40 slaughterhouses, thousands. Contact Viva, it's the charity that I run, and
You see,
it's all
it's
referenced.
so easy to
Anyway,
say
we went
there
to
was a
10,000
report and then you
slaughterhouses.
can't quote the
There
title
was
and the number.
10,000 sheep at 40 slaughterhouses throughout the UK.
Never.
The reason that they were looking at this is
Yes.
because they wanted to find out whether sheep indeed were unconscious when they had their throat slit.
And they are.
And they found that almost in every single case, they were not. There's a reason for this. Sheep, they put like tongs on either side of the head. They're supposed to put an electric shock through the brain. What the slaughterman does, they do not hold it on either side of the brain for long enough. So the sheep falls over, it's paralysed, but it's still fully conscious. It is then hung upside down by the back leg and it goes along the conveyor belt. The slaughterman then slits the throat. Now, what this study said was that because the sheep was only paralysed, the electric shock wasn't strong enough or held on the head long enough to make the sheep unconscious. Went along the conveyor belt and they knew everything that was happening to them. Now, some of the worst and most awful sights I've ever seen in my life, one that I will never, ever forget, was a cow that knew everything that was happening to us, totally fully conscious. She was struggling on the conveyor belt. They slit her throat, and then the slaughterman actually hacked her leg off and threw it away.
Well, I tell you what you should have done, my dear. If you saw this
doesn't happen very
happening, my
often,
dear,
but every
you
animal
should
welfare
have reported
organisation,
that to the
it was
authorities.
reported. Every animal welfare organisation has seen this, has videoed it, and it's so easy to see. One of the other things, the worst thing I've ever seen was in live export.
Well, I've had
there was a bull
45 years
on a
of the
boat.
food and
A bull
farming
My dear,
doing
my
abroad.
dear.
And the things you are recounting
to
here
France
to me, my
and to
dear,
Holland, they go across all the
strike
time.
me as pure and adulterated fiction, if I may say
It's
so.
not fiction. I've seen it with my
Now,
own
let
eyes.
me say
Why do you
this.
think that I went vegetarian? I used to enjoy meat. I
That,
went
my
vegetarian
dear,
because I'd
you
seen
are
it
obviously a
for
sincere
myself.
young woman.
I am
A sincere young woman. That's his way of saying you are naive and foolish and so silly, that little female brain of yours. So silly. Trying to think about things when it's men who should be thinking about things. Come on.
I
don't mind you being
The problem, guys, with women don't cover your ears. Men, the problem with women is they're so emotional and they're always just not thinking rationally, just looking at a slaughterhouse and then rattling off all these facts about studies and stuff, and it's so emotional. Okay, women, you can come back. You can come back. Just please don't talk too much.
A vegetarian, good luck to you. I had a plate of muesli for me breakfast this morning. I have vegetarian dishes from time to time. But what I do enjoy most of all, Sundays, when my wife opens the Aga, brings out the roasting tin, and in it is a 3 rib of roast beef with the beautiful roast beef.
BSE with the bloody juices and the antibiotics
There's
and the
been
growth
more
hormones.
people
Yes, lovely,
kicked to death by donkeys in Blackpool than have suffered any ill effects from enjoying a rich, rare rib of beef. And we take that out, my dear, and I get hold of the crust of a wholemeal loaf. Now, there's a nice vegetarian thing, a wholemeal loaf, the crust. And I get the crust and I put it round in all that rich, lovely brown gravy.
It's true that many people
and I've just come back from church as well.
But many people won't
Wash
die.
it down
What
with
people
a
are
glass of
dying of
Burgundy.
with too many animal products is heart disease and cancers.
Well, look at me, my dear. I'm 69.
Did you know that even
and
our
I
government
eat meat
has said
every
that,
day of the week.
if people
We're
go
looking.
vegetarian, they'd reduce the cancer?
We're looking at you. You're 69 and you eat meat, and that's what you look like. We can see. What was the point you were trying to make?
Medical
I'm sorry, let me.
Lovely wholemeal loaf. Now, there's a nice veg, and I'm enjoying a rich.
There. We're looking. Okay.
Rare
There. We're looking again.
rib of beef. And
That's what you could. Young men, dressing you again. You could look this way if you wanted.
take that out, my dear, and I get hold of the crust of a wholemeal loaf. Now there's a nice vegetarian thing, a wholemeal loaf, the crust. And I get the crust and I put it round in all that rich, lovely brown gravy.
It's true that many people
Have that, you know, and I've just come back from church as well.
But many people won't
Wash
die.
it down
What
with
people
a
are
glass of
dying of
Burgundy.
with too many animal products is heart disease and cancers.
Well, look at me,
you know,
my dear.
Did you know?
I'm 69.
Did you know that even
and
our
I
government
eat meat
has said
every day of the week.
that if people go vegetarian, they'd reduce the cancer medical bill by half?
Absolute rubbish.
It's not rubbish. You cannot say that.
My good friend, Dr. Ian
Eating too
Charlton,
much
who
meat
lives up
and
near
eating
me,
too many dairy products causes cancers.
we both enjoy our wine.
And it causes heart disease. You know why?
No.
Because it clogs up the arteries and the blood, it puts the pressure on the heart
Get
and it
away.
causes a heart attack.
Well, I should be due to go down with a heart attack here.
I think you are. It'd be interesting to know how it turned out for this guy.
Well, you probably will.
Well, I might indeed, you know, then the wife will collect the
Going on the way that you are.
No.
What I'm talking about is the general
bread and
population.
Burgundy. I may have said that before.
Easy,
Excellent.
It's easy to
This
dismiss
guy,
pain and
you know, like, does he feel like he's the picture of health? Because he said that with such confidence. Like, he was like, look at me. No offense, guy, but you are not the picture of health. When he talks about dropping dead of a heart attack, that's the first thing I think about when I look at you. Like, it's soon.
suffering. But if you know someone with heart disease, they go up the stairs, they can't breathe, they don't feel fit. And most people actually have it within the power, within their own hands, to diminish that suffering. If you eat a diet that's high in things like fresh fruit and fresh veg and all the other wonderful vegetarian products,
eat that as well, dear.
Hang on,
I've just consumed half a bowl of fruit in the dressing room here.
You can reduce.
Wonderful.
You can
Plums,
stop the clogging of your arteries. You can reduce that pain. But meat and dairy products actually cause that pain. They kill you early, too young.
I don't think there's anything wrong with my
And you don't need to eat
I'm
it. Look,
69.
you don't need to eat meat. You can be perfectly healthy
But I love
on a
meat.
vegetarian diet.
What
What I'm talking about,
a
for most
lovely leg of lamb.
people, you dismiss the cruelty and the suffering. You say it doesn't exist. But for most people want to be compassionate. They want to care. They don't want to see animals being cruelly
I'm
treated.
compassionate, dear.
Just let me tell you
Put
something
me in
else.
a garden with
You're not
roses and I'm just
compassionate.
as
You're not
compassionate as a tin
compassionate.
of condensed milk. I am
You're not.
compassionate.
You cannot be. I don't.
I'm
think
a family man.
I
I've got a
don't
little boy of 4 years of age.
I don't think
young
for some
Joseph.
reason you managed to cut off cruelty to animals. That
Because
for
I don't
whatever
believe
reason.
there is
For whatever
any.
reason. Let me give you another example of something that truly moved me to the very core. There was a bull going across on live export and he'd broken his pelvis.
You want to watch bulls? They're dangerous.
This went on national television, in fact, and rocked the whole nation.
And we believe everything we see on national telly.
Oh, you think they deliberately broke this bull's
I
pelvis? The bull.
I don't know.
If I can just finish.
go
The
on,
bull
love,
was
go
on the
on.
boat, broken his pelvis, he couldn't move, so he was trying to get up onto his front legs. The men who were trying to move him used electric shocks on his testicles to move him. They went on for half an hour doing this.
That would be very painful.
30 minutes of this
Oh,
bull
you
crying
understand that
out
one,
in
do you? You understand that. Okay, is there cruelty involved then? What about castrating pigs and bulls? And what about the cutting of the testicles out of the live pigs? Would that be painful? What about the searing off of their beaks? Would that be painful? Huh?
absolute agony.
But where
And
was
this
this
goes
done?
on-
Was this done in
This
England?
goes on day in,
Was
day
it
out.
done in England?
This happened to British animals
Was
going
it
out
done
to
in
France,
England?
to Spain, to
It would
Egypt,
not
to
be
Greece,
done
and to
in
Asia.
this-
What does it matter? She's not arguing that. She's not making a regional claim. Why is he bringing up? Never mind. I can't. Okay.
Country.
This
What
is
happens in
absolute
Asia?
nonsense.
What happens
They're
in Africa?
British
God alone
animals.
knows. I
These are
don't
British
know.
animals going out. You cannot say
What-
it doesn't happen in Britain.
Where
British
did it
slaughterhouses are
happen,
cruel.
dear?
Another example
Where
of British.
where
good
did it
old,
happen?
Good old Britain. It was a boat going out from Britain out
Yes,
to Greece.
but from which port? What date?
It's
Who was
irrelevant.
responsible?
It's
not
irrelevant.
because
It was a British animal.
I can
It was a
make any
British
sort
animal.
of blanket statement.
If you want
And
to
you
If I
have.
say I've broken a bull's leg, I've got to say what sort of bull it
pelvis.
was, where that bull's leg was broken, and why, and how it was broken. And this just would not happen in this country.
Oh, this is not.
whole transport of animals
just
in this
about
country
everybody
is
knows that live
supervised
transport of
by
animals
the veterinary
is
profession, the
incredibly
National
cruel, that
Farmers
it's not
Union.
regulated at all. It's totally
We
unregulated.
people connected with the food industry, dear, we're not a bunch of sadists.
Well,
we're a
are
kindly
you?
bunch. Farmer
You're not a
Giles
kindly
figures.
bunch. You're not.
If
You're
we
into
don't-
money.
if
You want
we
to make
don't-
money at
well,
every
of
last
course
thing.
I
You
wanna
do not
make money.
care
I've
about
got a
human
family
health.
to keep.
Hence BSE. You do
I
not care
don't
about
want them on
human
the
health.
dole.
You do not care about
I'm not a
animals. You do
one-parent
not care about
family.
the environment.
Of course we
Animal
do.
farmers have ripped up the British hedgerows enough to cover the earth 4 times over. They've destroyed
They've ripped up
90% of
the
our ponds.
hedgerows
They've
enough
destroyed
to
all our
cover
forests.
4 times over.
They've destroyed. They're the major polluters of water in
don't
the
believe
world.
you.
And they use most of the water. There are
You see,
billions
I'm
of
getting,
farm
I'm
animals.
getting a
Excuse me,
sense of
just a
conscience
second.
now, dear, because
Listen
I
for
don't
1
like
second.
sort of.
There should have been a moderator for this discussion. They have been talking over each other for about 3 straight minutes, I want to say, maybe 4.
Putting the truth to you
I
like
don't want
this.
a
Conscience
second.
now.
They use most of the water. There are
You see,
billions of farm animals.
I'm getting a
Excuse me,
sense of
just a
conscience
second.
now, dear, because
Listen
I
for
don't
1
like
second.
sort of putting the truth to you
I
like
don't want
this.
to talk over
I'd
you,
like to
but-
sort of convert you, open your eyes to
Mm.
see the realities of the food production.
That's the
food
problem. My
process.
eyes have been opened.
Oh, dear me,
They
but
have
you've
been
seen
opened.
some false prophets in this business. You honestly have. I'll tell you what we do when we finish this program. I'll take you out and let's have a nice rump steak apiece, or 2 or 3 pork chops with some roast potatoes. And all right, we'll have some green beans, some spinach and spaghetti.
Like at this point, like the way she's reacting is the only way you should react. I mean, I like your level of disrespect for her right now is just enormous. You know that she's doing what she's doing because it's about her ethics. This guy is just insanely stupid and condescending and a buffoon. And the thing is, like, in his family, he's probably like the jolly guy that everyone laughs at. Dinner, there's this, with this prime rib, and ooh, give me the food. And everybody's laughing. Ah, grandpa's being silly again. And he gets this reinforcement where he thinks that it's charming and funny. Because probably like in the setting of his family, it is funny. Because they're all like you, but they're laughing at your buffoonery. But he thinks like it comes across well in a serious discussion that they're having. His shtick is not working well. I mean, I realize we're in a different era, so maybe men were like this. Men are still like this, yes. It just the my dears and the my loves and let me explain to you and I feel bad for you. You're so emotional. It's just like it's I don't know how to say it. It's at the maximum level. Beyond its peak. It's beyond peak. It's too high. It's too high.
And we'll wash it down.
Like your cholesterol.
Good bottle of Beaujolais.
Eating meat,
Côte
it
d'Aron.
destroys the environment en masse. It's cruel
How
to
does it
animals.
destroy the animals?
It's cruel to animals and it
they
destroys
void
health.
manure, and there
Whatever
we
you
get the
say,
natural
you are
manure
just
to
in
put
it
back.
for
If
the
there
money.
wasn't any animals, there wouldn't
And-
be any natural manure.
And you
can't
don't
have
care.
it both ways.
You don't care about the welfare of those animals because if you did,
course I
you
do.
would make less money out of them.
Not
That's
at
all
all.
it comes
You've
down to at the end of the
gotta
day. Factory farming is about making money out of animals. It is cruel and it is disgusting.
Well, all right.
And nothing can
Factory
justify it.
production of
Nothing.
sparking plugs is after making money out of the motor industry.
They are not
Factory
living creatures
factory
with
farming
feelings.
is
They are
an
not living,
emotive
feeling,
term.
sentient
It is
creatures.
intensive, kindly livestock production.
Nothing sentient.
It is
They are not living
production of
nothing
sparking
of animals. It is cruel and it is disgusting.
Well, all right.
And nothing can
Factory
justify it.
production of
Nothing.
sparking plugs is after making money out of the motor industry.
They are not
Factory
living creatures
factory
with
farming
feelings.
is
They are
an
not living,
emotive
feeling,
term.
sentient.
Factory farming is an emotive term. So let's hear, hang on, let's hear what he suggests in place of factory farming.
It is intensive, kindly livestock production.
Nothing.
Just want to be correct the next time I refer to this. Intensive, kindly livestock production. Just a little word of advice to this guy. The word intensive does not sound better. The word intensive screams to me something very wrong. Intensive production, intensive, that's the word you're going to go with. Now, kindly, I mean, you're a joke, but intensive, kindly livestock production. So no more factory farming, guys. Erase that from your lexicon. And in place of that, intensive, kindly livestock production, or IKLP. IKLP. IKLP.
It's kind about caging animals and not allowing them any freedom.
Compassion, my
dear.
No
Compassion.
Compassion in farming.
It's institutionalized cruelty with no compassion
I'm
at all.
sorry, dear. I cannot really agree with you on that one. I can't really. It isn't. The farmer is possibly the last bastion of kindly compassion towards livestock that we have in this country.
The farmers show no compassion
to livestock. The British farmer is the...
Oh, wait.
The farmer can't really. It isn't. The farmer is possibly the last bastion of kindly compassion towards livestock.
Just got to break this down too. The farmer is the last bastion of, say it again, something kindly compassion.
Of kindly compassion is possibly the last bastion of kindly compassion towards livestock.
Who else is dealing with livestock, you moron? Like, who else? So, okay. I mean, the only people I would think of would be the farmers and the activists, right? Who else? Who else is in there? All right.
That we have in this
The farmers
country.
show no compassion
The British
to livestock.
farmer is the salt of the earth.
Farmers send their animals to slaughter in the most inhumane, disgusting conditions. They send them to export to abroad to be killed in the most disgusting conditions. And they keep them here in the most disgusting conditions.
I have friends.
There are billions
in the
of animals, farm animals on this
industry.
planet. Land has to be used worldwide to grow feed for those animals. To do that, we have destroyed the forests, we have destroyed our waterways, we have overfished the oceans.
This is a good example of we're in the weeds of what's cruel and what should be permissible for us to do to animals and what's gross and what's disgusting, which is subjective, instead of we shouldn't have that ability to do that to animals, period. We shouldn't do any of this to animals in a kind way, in a cruel way. They are not ours. And we're in the weeds now because she's focusing on those arguments. And you can't win in this situation. I mean, you've made him look like a fool. So in that sense, you have won the argument, I guess. But he's not persuaded, obviously.
Half of the world's oceans,
excuse
me, half of the world's oceans are on the point of environmental collapse because they have been overfished.
I live on this.
I agree with almost 100% of what she's saying, but she's not making the point that we shouldn't be doing any of this.
Shores of the North Sea. It's sea houses. There's no sign of the North Sea.
In the North Sea, mackerel cannot even be fished anymore.
My boat's floating in it while I'm away from it.
So overfished, there are none left in the North Sea.
Mackerel's a dirty fish to eat anyhow.
Cod is going to be extinct within 5 years because we have overfished them. This is a terrible, frightening problem. We're destroying the ecology of the oceans just for
We're
what?
not.
A
It
product
doesn't-
we don't need to eat.
It
Whatever
doesn't pay
you
to
farmers,
destroy the
whatever
ecology.
you farmers
You
touch, you
husband
destroy.
the ecology.
You destroy the
husband-
oceans.
No,
you destroy
dear.
the environment.
No,
You're destroying the rainforest for beef cattle, for burgers.
Where the
You destroyed over half of the rainforest of the earth. You're
Where?
destroying the waterways. Did
Where
you know?
are these
Did you know that
rainforests?
the major waterways of the earth are almost dried up because they're being fed? They're being used to water animals.
There's been floods in Spain that have swept away
You know,
caravan
something that
parks.
really worries
That
me.
wasn't dried
It
up.
sounds terribly
The
dramatic.
Ganges in India, where I believe there are rainforests,
Are dried up.
floods
They're
every
dried up.
year.
They're drying up.
Because
the great
they
rivers of
don't-
the world.
They don't
because
initiate
they
a
use-
program of conservation of water resources.
Because they're destroying the land to grow feed, to feed to farm animals, which people then eat.
Which farm
if
animals?
we continue to do this, there will be no waterways left. There will be no forests left.
You've got it wrong, my dear.
Listen,
honestly.
I am the director of Viva, a national charity.
I've
If
never
people
heard
want
of
to
Viva,
find
quite
out more about
honestly.
this, they
I
should
mean, I could
contact
say
us.
I'm a Seventh-day,
Because
Adventist or
these
whatever, but
issues are so vital. They're
course
so
they are,
important.
and
People
it's very
have to
good.
do something
It's
about
very
it.
good that young
Going
women like you
vegetarian is
have
a
a conscience.
positive
You've got to
step.
have a conscience.
It's a positive step
Who-
about saving the environment, saving animals, and saving your own health.
But it's
I'm sorry, just like, who organized this, aired this? Because it's a mess. It's just a mess.
It's only by
It is
listening.
vital
It's
that
only by
people-
listening
It's vital
to
that people
people like
stand up
myself
and listen and actually
who
do
are
something
kindly, who
to
will
save the
listen to the other
environment.
person's point of view.
But you're not listening.
You listen to me, my dear.
You're not listening
I'm
to
not
anything.
saying I'm 100% right. I'm probably 99.9% right, my dear. But we'll have a chat later on.
No,
and I'll
you have
attempt,
spent-
I'll attempt
you
to
spent
let
this
you
entire
see
programme-
just how kindly and compassionate, I'm using those two words again,
Well, you're not.
the whole of the British food industry is. Believe me, it is.
You're a
my
man
dear.
that agrees with battery farming. Almost all of Britain disagrees with you. You
Indeed,
are a cruel
indeed.
man. You agree with cruelty. You're
No,
not
I-
compassionate.
I don't think I am. I wouldn't say I was a cruel
Anybody
man, dear.
who agrees
I
with
think
caging
not at
animals
all.
like that
The animals,
does not
the
have
hens,
a heart.
they're comfortable. They're
Does
sitting
not,
there.
they're not
just
comfortable.
going,
Why do so
"Plop,
many
plop,
die
plop,
in the cages then?
Who?
Why do they peck each other to death? Because they're frustrated and they're bored. Why do you chop their beaks off when they're chicks?
Well,
to
I
stop
didn't
them
know we
pecking
did
each
chop
other?
the beaks off, quite
Well, it
frankly.
seems it happens throughout the industry. You don't know
Does
much
it
about the
really?
own industry, do you?
I'm always open. I'm always open to learn something, dear. You're never too old
Oh,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah. You seem like you're very open to learning.
Because
eggs
they, can you just listen
365
for
of
a
days
second?
of the
I
year.
don't want eggs 365 days
Yeah, but a lot
year.
of people do. The
I
customers
don't
of the
think people do
supermarkets
want
do.
eggs treated in such cruel conditions. I really don't
Well,
think
you
people do.
want to
Once
go
they
out
know
and
the
ask them,
truth,
how are you
they
going to
say
get
no.
the eggs from the free? I mean, we keep coming back to these chickens. How do you get the eggs from the free range flocks at 360? How do you get eggs at Christmas from them when the north wind's blowing up their backsides? I
You
don't
know
see
what
how
they
can.
do? They chop through their beaks. It's called debeaking. And the beak, they used to say it's just like the nail. They don't feel anything.
Well, it is quite
but it's
nasty.
not.
It's the same horn.
It's not. It's actually,
Died
it's got the most, it's the most sensitive organ of the
2016.
Well,
bird.
I'd like to.
Excuse
Have
me,
you got any
because
veterinary qualifications?
it has got the nerve endings in
Has
the
it?
beak.
Oh.
It's a sensitive organ. They
Yes.
use it to find food and
Aye.
all the rest of it. And they chop right through.
Terrible people live long sometimes. This guy lived to 88. Oh, God. Can you imagine him after this? Like, in his 80s? Oh,
the
God.
nerve endings. Those chicks, a lot of them die of shock and they die of bleeding.
I've never heard of a chicken dying from shock but through having its beak. The top beak protrudes slightly over
Even
the
the
bottom
British
beak. And
government's
if they do, they
own
just put a
Animal
little bit
Welfare Council has said that it's wrong and it should be banned,
Yeah.
but it still has not been. This happens
Well,
every
then,
day.
If you think it should
let's look
be,
at something else. Let's look at
initiate the legislation through Parliament and let Parliament decide, not bigoted pressure groups like yourself.
And who do you think puts the pressure on to stop this cruelty, if not pressure groups?
But you've got
Who
to,
do you
if you
think
do
tells
it,
the British
if you
public
do
the
it
truth,
in a
if not pressure
democratic,
groups?
if you do it in a democratic way, that's
Do you
fair
think the
enough.
farmers
But
are going to tell the public
I
the
tell you
truth?
this, the farmers don't go to the streets and go around rampaging and knackering about and breaking into butchers' shops like some of these pressure groups that are animal welfare people do.
No, what
They
farmers
resort to
do.
physical.
Yeah, I believe she's vegan. I believe she was vegan during this too. They're just calling it vegetarianism. You know, the word vegan wasn't really widespread in when? Maybe it was. 96. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was vegetarian, but yeah, Viva is a vegan group to my understanding of Viva.
Violence. I mean, look how they attack the poor huntsmen who are keeping down the foxes.
That's absolute nonsense.
Disgraceful.
What farmers do are physically violent to animals.
They're
What
not.
you do is disgusting, quite frankly.
Look, I've got a dog. I've got 2 cats. I had a spaniel,
You
a
know,
gun dog.
something else that made me go
Wonderful
vegetarian
animal.
and
I was
stay
never cruel to
vegetarian.
it at all.
Something else that made me go vegetarian and stay was I went
What's that,
into
my dear?
a couple of pig units, and I went to
Yeah.
one very recently, actually about 4 months ago.
Aye.
A place owned, in fact, it's a show place used
Is
for
it?
farmers.
Yes.
You went in there, these pigs are kept in this huge shed, and they're in these narrow stalls. They're about 2 inches away from each other, but they cannot touch
Now,
each other.
how long ago was this? Because the best way to
If I could
keep
just
pigs,
describe what
yes,
I've seen
the
instead of
best way
talking
to
over
keep
me
pigs
all the time.
is in large
Excuse me, let
containers,
me at
large
least
barns
speak. You might not
with
like the
about
truth, but at
18
least
inches
want
to
to
2
tell.
foot.
She's talking about gestation crates. Of course, you don't seem to know what that is, or you would just know what she's talking about, like all of us here know what she's talking about just from her describing it.
3
I've
foot of
seen.
straw.
That
Now,
is
that's
not the
how
way
you
they're
produce.
kept. These
That's how you
pigs
produce the best
couldn't
British
turn round.
bacon.
Couldn't even turn round.
Never.
Because some of them couldn't lie down. They're kept there throughout the pregnancy. These are the breeding stock.
Yes.
When they have the piglets.
Have you ever considered it might be
they're moved
because
into
the
these,
pregnant
they're moved
sow
into these
needs
tiny crates.
supporting?
But you just said you didn't know what she was talking about. You didn't understand a very basic thing about the industry. While you're claiming to be this expert who spent 45 years as a farmer, and she's describing a gestation crate, and you can't identify that?
My goodness me.
And this is a kindness to the
So if you
pregnant
kept,
sow.
you kept a
Because
pregnant
if it
dog
wasn't,
in a tiny cage,
it
you'd
could
say
roll
you're
over
supporting
To
a
be
dog.
fair, that is what we do to pregnant women. Or if not, we should. We put them in a something the size of a coffin so that they can't move around a lot. And then sometimes, women, they like to lay down. They're so lazy. They sleep. Oh, women. Oh, man. So sometimes you just got to whack them in the head so that they'll get up. Lazy ass women. I mean, this is what we should do, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying we do this, but if we were humane,
given
We need
birth
to support
to
it.
its lovely little
This is
piglets, it could
absolute
roll over
total
and
nonsense.
squash them to death.
Absolute
and
nonsense.
that would be cruel, my
The
dear.
reason that you
would
do
be
it is
really
to keep
cruel.
as many pigs as possible in the smallest space as possible and make as much money as possible out of those animals.
The way you
that is
keep
the only
pigs,
reason you do
keep
it.
pigs in as natural environment as possible. I say in yards with straw, you keep them happy.
Hardly any pigs are kept like that.
you just defended the gestation crate. You just defended it, and you said that that was an act of kindness so that she wouldn't crush her babies. Now you're saying the best way to keep pigs is to keep them in its natural state. Well, which is it? Should we keep it very natural? Because then, according to you, I guess just naturally, just pigs are always crushing each other. Or do they have some sense and they move around and they look after their young? Which is it? Mr. Weeks? Bill Weeks?
I know are, and they're happy, grunty little animals, and they've got their own little dunging pens outside, and they have a very, very happy
You know,
life.
pigs are very sociable animals, don't you? I mean,
Pardon?
that pigs are very sociable
Pigs are.
animals.
Some people even keep Vietnam
I
pot-bellied
know, as
pigs.
pets.
I mean, they might keep Vietnam pot-bellied Bill Weekses as pets, but I don't think you would, dear.
They're very
But-
sociable,
Oh,
they're
they are.
intelligent,
Yes,
they're highly,
if you like,
highly
if you like
intelligent
them going
creatures.
around the house. I mean, I prefer to have our little Jack Russell Terrier now, with 2 pussycats.
You prefer your dog because you like to think, well, let's make as much money out of farm animals and kill them and treat them the way we
Well,
want. Where I
you've-
don't want to do
you've-
that to my dog.
but
But
you've
what I'm
got to
saying is,
make money, dear.
what I'm saying is,
I
there's
don't-
no difference really between your dog and that pig. Why on
Well,
the one
there is.
hand
I mean, the
why
pig's
on
got
the
a
one
snout
hand
that goes oink, 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 and our Jack Russell that goes bow wow when I go in. But this is
You see what I mean about him thinking that he's like a cartoon character? Like he's talking to her the way he probably talks to his grandkids. And like I said, it's reinforced, I'm sure. It's encouraged by his family because they all think he's funny. He's like this clown. He's just a joke. to everybody.
But
A dog and that pig. Why on
Well,
the one
there is.
hand
I mean,
say,
a
why
pig's-
And you know what? There are people like this in my family. Like I've known people like this. There are people in my not too distant family that are just like this guy. And I feel like I know him. I feel like I know this guy. Does everybody have someone like this in their family? I think they do. Yeah, I think everybody does.
got a
One
snout
hand-
that goes oink, 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 and our Jack Russell that goes bow wow when I go in.
Yeah.
There's a bit of difference. I mean, if you can't tell the difference between a dog and a pig, dear, I think some of you.
And they talk to you like this even when you're a fucking adult. And it gets tiring. And you're just like, and every time you see them, you're like, oh, just an afternoon. And then you imagine in your head, what if it was like this every fucking day? And then you feel sorry for their wife. And then you treat her with more compassion.
I
Ideas
think
might
you're
be
slightly missing the
somewhat
point
at
here.
variance.
Slightly missing the point. What I'm trying to say is that a dog is an intelligent animal, very sociable.
So
If
are
you kept
pigs.
that, if you kept that dog in a small cage throughout its pregnancy,
Yeah.
denied it any freedom, it couldn't even lie down standing in its own filth
Our dog.
throughout its life.
Well, thank God
you
it
would be
hasn't been pregnant
prosecuted.
yet because,
You would be prosecuted for cruelty, wouldn't you?
Yes, indeed.
Of course you would.
And so would
do
the farmer
same. Do
who's
the
doing
same to
what
the pig.
you're saying.
Do the same
because
to the pig,
they
and that is just accepted as normal because it's just institutionalized.
Look,
Nilf.
I don't.
Nilf, you're on point, but damn, I was gonna say, like, Mary's got one too. Nilf coming in with the zingers.
I think that factory farming
the farmer
should
has to
be
conform,
even legal.
or conform, I should
And if
say,
you don't-
to the most rigorous anti-cruelty regulations. And the inspectors can walk into any farm any time of the day and night and have a look at the ways in which these animals are kept. And most of them are kept in very, very comfortable, happy conditions.
No, they're not. They're kept in disgusting conditions.
I don't think so, dear. I mean, I've had a lot of
That is
experience going
why
on
do you,
pig
why do you
farms.
think so many people are giving up meat? Why do you think there's so many
I
millions of
honestly
vegetarians
don't. I
in Britain?
really don't know. Quite frankly, it certainly hasn't affected our family. I
It's
would never
because
give up
people are opening their eyes to the reality of modern farming. They
I
do
don't
not want to be cruel to animals. Also, they don't want to jeopardize their own health or the environment.
But they're
That
not
is why they're going
jeopardizing their
vegetarian.
own health. They're not
course they are.
jeopardizing the
Of course they
environment.
are.
I mean, you get protein from a meat animal, from an animal, meat, yes. It contains all the amino acids needed for healthy life. Now, if you're going to have it, can I pour that out for you, my dear? I'm not such a monster as you like to. Could you
It's
pour
all
me
right,
one,
of
please?
course.
That's very kind of you. I mean, if you're going to have a vegetarian diet, you've
It's what they eat. They eat soy. You're getting the soy protein from the animal.
got to say, have two different types of vegetables and eat them together to get the balance of amino acids.
Look at
and
this
eat them
guy.
together.
Look at this. Wait. Look at this giant soy boy. He's a big old soy boy and he doesn't even know it.
Have two different types of vegetables and eat them together to get the balance of amino acids you need to build up a proper protein framework for.
All the things that protect
You get all the
things
amino
that
acids
protect,
you need in meat.
all the things that protect your health from about 60 or so diseases are in fresh fruit and fresh vegetables.
But I'm
Meat
not-
doesn't
I'm not
protect
saying
your
that- no,
health.
no.
It causes cancers
I'm
and it
not-
causes heart disease.
I'm not-
It's one of the biggest killers in the entire world, and people are just beginning to realise
not-
this.
I'm not-
I didn't go
I'm not,
vegetarian because of health,
Yeah.
but having worked for Viva and looked at all the medical papers almost throughout the world, you come
How
to the
can you
conclusion.
look at all the medical papers from throughout the world? You make these
Because-
blanket statements.
because
what
they-
I'm saying is,
because
I
we-
don't object to you being a vegetarian.
Because as a
I
national
love eating
organisation,
fruit.
we get
I
hold of
love
these
eating
papers.
vegetables,
Now-
and I also eat meat. I wouldn't try and say to you, you must give up eating vegetables. You must
I'm
give
not-
up eating fruit.
I'm not
and
telling
you've got to have
you-
a meat-only diet.
I'm not telling you must do anything. I'm just saying accept the.
Well, we know that you wouldn't tell her to stop eating vegetables because you don't care about her and you don't care about anything. That's the issue. She cares, you don't care. That's the difference between you two. You're a buffoon, she's a serious person. She cares, you don't care.
truth.
The truth, my dear, is a very nebulous thing.
Forever.
Adolf
So
Hitler thought he had the truth. I mean,
look,
I always liked.
Yeah, Adolf Hitler thought he had the truth, and he treated people like you treat animals, kind of like you think you have the truth, and you treat animals like Hitler treated the Jews.
To look at any argument in a simple, dispassionate manner.
You have made
weigh
money.
the pros
You
and
make
the
money
cons
out
and
of
come
farming
down.
animals.
The pros and the cons. I don't think you've done that. It sounds like you're the emotional one. You're the one talking about how, talking about roast like it's porn. And you thought that that would emotionally appeal to her or be funny? Ah, guys. 18 more years of that. Yep.
So you're not going to accept the truth no matter what that truth is. You've made money out of farming animals, so you won't accept the truth.
I made money out of farming animals.
You're bound not to accept the truth. But there was a study in the USA, the US government has now accepted. They said vegetarians enjoy...
What is this study, my dear? Who's published
I'm about to tell you. If you stop interrupting every second, it's painful.
My dear, please. He's a man, you're a woman. Do I need to point this out again?
Well, of course,
they looked at over. Well, that's why you won't let me speak. They looked at over 100 studies.
My goodness.
But there was a study in the USA. The US government has now accepted. They said vegetarians enjoy.
What is this study, my dear? Who's published
I'm about to tell you. If you stop interrupting every second, it's painful.
Well, of course,
they looked at over. Well, that's why you won't let me speak. They looked at over 100 studies, and they found that vegetarians get up to 57% less heart disease. They get up to 50% less of all the cancers.
Do they really?
Yes, they do. I mean, this is quite
whatever you say, my dear, I'm still sticking to me beef bread and me burgundy.
You stick to whatever you want. You stick to whatever you want, but don't try and stop people from finding out the truth.
I'm not. The more they attempt to find out the truth,
deliberate
the better it is,
disinformation.
and the more they'll come down and support my constructive.
Okay, hang on a sec.
Bread.
I mean,
well, whatever you say, my.
I have to say, first of all,
I'm still sticking to me.
I have some critiques.
Beef bread and me burgundy.
Okay, floor assistant, Louise, Sarah, you told them where to stand. Is that it?
You stick to whatever you want.
Vision mixer, you did this. This what you did. Lighting director, you turned the lights on. You flipped the switch. Okay. Set designer, you made whatever that is.
Stop people
production assistant, don't know what you did. Unit manager, don't know what that is. Researchers. What research? You put two people in a room and had them speak to each other. What research did you do?
Deliberate disinformation.
Calm. What did you do? David? I want that director job. Okay, you sit here. You sit here. Go. Five minutes. That's what you did. Series producer.
Down and support my constructive arguments and criticism.
Whatever they were paid. And that's the fucking BBC. Of course it's the BBC. Of course it's the BBC. Whatever they were paid, it was too much. The fucking BBC. That makes me even more pissed off at that stupid shit. Because of course it's the BBC. I mean, it's supposed to be a standard of quality, right? Okay, I think this will make us a little happier. I got one more pulled up. Let's get through more on this channel. Okay, this is Red Herrings, Trouble in the Ark, 1986. Documentary with a slight arty feel, okay? That's good. It's a good start. exploring general animal rights issues with participation from Mark Gold of Animal Aid, and some of the Wickham 19 defendants includes Bradford Animal Group's attempted entry of a factory farm, a rally against Toxico, and the Southeast Animal Liberation League's raids on Wickham Laboratory and the Royal College of Surgeons. All right, we'll close on this one. Wow. Now this guy did some directing. Oh, wow. Is it too loud? Guys, is it too loud?
Do you think that animals have rights?
I think so.
First of all, it's just a weird way to ask. Do you think that animals have rights? Well, rights are what you give them, right? So, no. They're trying to give them rights. Is it? I don't know.
Sort of human beings who work with animals. I think sort of human beings who work with animals, they have the principal rights. One advantage we have over animals is that human beings accumulate experience. We have that capacity. Animals do not do that to any great extent. And to suggest that you mean that animals have rights, they cannot voice their rights upon us. No. Dodgy.
I think I would have to say that, in my view, humans do have priority over animals. And therefore, I justify what I do by saying that I would rather kill a few hundred rats than have another deformed child born.
While you're watching this programme, 300 animals will die in laboratories in this country in the name of medical research.
This one's brutal.
A further 90,000 animals will die in the name of food production. But more and more human animals...
I gotta say, I don't even know what we just looked at. I've never seen that before. Does someone know what... I'm not going to show it again, but what the hell that was?
Fighting against this exploitation of other animals for profit. Humans who believe that all animals have rights, and especially the right not to suffer pain at the hands of humans.
I've only really been within the meat industry for a year, despite the fact that I sort of worked in family butcher shops, that type of thing. Being completely new to it, I did treat my first visit to a slaughterhouse and intensive farms with some trepidation. I myself an animal lover. I have horses, I have dogs, I have pets. So I'm your typical sort of English pet lover, if you like. And sort of upon entering the slaughterhouse and the intensive farm, I've certainly never, ever observed anything to cause me any concern. I've never seen any action of cruelty to an animal.
If a farmer was cruel to his animal,
Oh God! You went into an intensive farm and a slaughterhouse where they kill the animal, and you didn't witness anything of concern. Animal lover, God. I hate people.
That's cruelty to an animal.
If a farmer was cruel to his animals, that's detrimental to his profit at the end of the week, at the end of the year.
No, no, it's not. No, why would you think that?
What reason would a farmer want to be cruel to his animals?
What? Can you just imagine? Imagine that there's someone like in your, imagine there's someone that you're looking after and they can't speak, and they don't do that. You want them to go over here. They don't want to go over here, so they're doing that. And you keep telling them, go over there, go over there, go over there, but they won't go over there. So, but you have to make them go over there, right? So what do? You physically force them over there. Now, why can't you imagine how you would do that to a 2,000-pound animal, or whatever, however heavy the animal is, how you would do that in a kind way? And then why would you think that that would harm the prophets and not help the prophets? I just don't understand this. This is this weird myth that unhappy animals taste bad because there's some magical thing that happens to the meat because they were unhappy. Oh, it's probably a hormone or something. Adrenaline leaches into the meat and the unhappy animal just tastes bad. It doesn't make sense, guys. So it's...
He's looking, like anybody else, to maximize his profit, but not diminish it.
The animal liberation may, in some cases, think they are right, but have they ever been? The animal liberation may
maximize his profit, but not diminish it.
The animal liberation may, in some cases, think they are right, but have they ever been on farms? Have they ever got down to the grassroots exactly of what goes on? Like, it's very nice from a city dweller. It's very like...
So is your suggestion that animal liberation activists go to farms? Because I agree, they should. But then they get criticized for going to those farms and sometimes arrested.
To criticize city dwellers and say the streets are dirty and that everything isn't correct. There's too many derelict buildings. There's too many hungry people. There's too many people on the streets. But, like, do we obviously understand the problems as a rural people when we come to the city? We don't. It takes a while to learn. And it's the exact same with the animal welfare lobby. They've got to come out, see farms.
See it, please. Is this where the one farmer comes to see it, please? Please. You know, on private property, you've been asked. Just remain where you are and speak to the farmer and come to you.
Where's their shop?
Just wait here.
No, you're not properly addressed to start with. Complete disinfection. Everybody, nobody. They're completely disinfected. Disease orders to start with. Disease orders. And you'll know that you've got SVD, and you've got IV, anything like that, you could be carrying it. No, I have not. Nothing. No. Nothing to see. You can't come, you're not disinfectant, you're wearing the right clothes, and you're trespassing, every one of you.
Smoking away.
But that guy said, do they ever go to the farms? Now they're at the farm, or whatever this is, and now you're criticizing them. We can't win.
That is public that's his public health problem.
Have you got any idea?
First person that steps round there, I wouldn't want to be with. I wouldn't want to be one of them.
Give them the birthright. Give them the birthright.
Have you got one?
Yes, I got the birthright.
Right then, bugger off.
Freedom. Give them their birthright. Get them out.
Get some work done. We work 7 days a week. That's never done a day back in your life.
He's just playing really arrogant, yeah? He's just answering one question with another, smothering it all up. Like, he won't let anyone in to see what's going on. I mean, look, put chickens ending up like that, yeah? Like, he said, oh, they're all healthy, covered in feathers, doing fine, yeah? They're cooped up in little boxes sort of thing, you know? It's just not on. It's like getting stuffed up in little boxes, eggs coming out, and then they're just getting cooped up and left to die sort of thing, getting force-fed, pumped full of food, things like that. It's just not on. This is the people like that just in for it for the money. They just don't care about humanity or things like that.
Why can't we go in? We want to know.
Where do you live?
In Bradford.
Where do you live? Right there. Can I go in your house?
Yeah, if you come round.
What for?
Is this your house? Are they at your house?
Well, I don't know. That's up to you.
I mean, if you want to go into the office, you want to go into the animal rights building, if that's what he does, you want to go into the office, sure, come on in. They're trying to go to your workplace, not your home. Is this your home?
What are you coming in for? What to do with you?
We want to come in because we want to look at these birds who are kept in terrible conditions.
Is that right?
How many have you got here?
Is that right?
How many birds have you got here?
Is that right?
Yeah, it is right.
Is that right?
I thought they were challenged to go to the farms.
No, I'm not showing you nothing.
Well, why? What are you ashamed of?
I'm not showing you nothing.
Oh, you
Anybody who comes round, we had a party round, we take school parties, right, all sorts, ladies circles round, and every year, I don't know how many people come, children come looking round to start with. No.
Why not?
They didn't know need to come.
How did you manage to sterilise and disinfect all these children so that they could come in and we can't?
Right?
How did you manage to sterilise and disinfect all these children so that they could come in so we can't? Oh, that was easy.
Wellingtons on.
They all came with Wellingtons on.
Yeah.
Most of the people here have got Wellingtons on.
Where? Have they?
Yeah.
Where?
Look behind you.
Do you know what a Wellington looks like? Who the hell are you anyway?
Who am I? I'm just the person who's coming in to see this disgusting place.
What
did he do? Why should I? I'm concerned about those animals in there.
How old are you?
What's that got to do with it?
Precisely. Absolutely. You've just hit the nail on the head.
Excuse me.
No, it's not your...
What?
What's that got to do with it?
Precisely.
Why should I? I'm concerned about those animals in there.
How old are you?
What's that got to do with it?
Precisely. Absolutely. You've just hit the nail on the head.
Excuse me.
No, it's not your dude. You mind your own business then. What's not to do with you? What I've got to what?
He lost the thread of what he was asking there.
Exploitation is everybody.
How old are you? What's that got to do with it? Exactly. That was a funny interaction.
There's working with life. I don't know what bloody work is.
You work here. Yeah. What is the condition of the chickens kept in the farm?
Can all those with Wellingtons move to the front, please?
No, just telling him that.
Yeah, but if you want any comments, Mr. Kershaw is the person to give you them.
Please.
He just said, can everybody with Wellingtons move to the front, please?
Just telling him that.
Yeah, but if you want any comments, Mr. Kershaw is the person to give you them. Okay?
That's right, but I mean...
I'm in a box.
I'm in a box.
I'm in a box. I'm in a box. You're in a box. You ought to be in a box.
What's legal isn't always what's right. I mean, we think it's illegal anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
because it's against all the animal protection laws that exist in this country. It's only that it hasn't been brought to court and proved to be cruel that people go on saying it's all right. I mean, the ministry has passed laws which include the battery system, okay, but if it went to an impartial court and was judged according to proper animal protection viewpoint, it would be deemed illegal. And in Germany, it has been deemed illegal time and time again. And they are now just coming up to a further test case, which might actually outlaw the battery system totally in Western Germany. So we're just one step behind them.
My dear, please. There is nothing more comfortable for a chicken than the battery cage system. Maybe you missed, what was that called? What was it called? Maybe you missed A Room with Two Views, Vegetarianism from 1996. You should have been watching the BBC.
And if his battery is so up to standard and there's nothing wrong with his chickens, why did he refuse the offer and let him one of his?
My love. You're so sincere. You remind me of my wife.
In with a camera to show everyone how beautifully his chickens were kept. He totally refused that. He wouldn't back his mouth up with his actions.
Well, and these pictures we have are certainly his chickens, and he denied this, so he presumably thought that they didn't look up to scratch, and I bought them personally, paid 85p each for them, so we know perfectly well they are his chickens.
He didn't seem to know what a chicken should look like. He said, "What's wrong with that chicken? There hardly any chicken there. A pair of legs, three feathers, and a scrawny neck." Someone showed him a picture of what a chicken should look like to educate him, and he just tore it up and threw it away.
He didn't want to know, did he? Didn't want to learn. No.
I can tell you all about this.
Are you a veterinary
You've probably got 20,000 birds here.
Are you a veterinary surgeon?
There's probably 40 to 60 million birds in this country, laying about 250 eggs each a year in tiny little crouched cages with 4 or 5.
Who's keeping ends on it?
There's lots of people.
I've got 2 of yours. How many more have you got? Why have we only got 2?
How you doing, Wesley? Nice to see you. We're watching some old historic videos, Wesley. And sadly, we're seeing how little things have changed.
Because I don't have enough information. Why do you only
show us how to do it?
There's lots of examples. There's deep litter and free-range farms.
Show us how to do it. And then say, look, you should do it this way.
Chickens in battery units in the cage system, I feel that I'm not under stress. They have everything they need. They have food, water, ad lib as they want it. Control ventilation, lighting.
I'm doing well.
See, if you put a chicken...
Can I shout you out, Wesley? Is that okay? Can I shout you out? I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but...
with its wings spread out, it covers pretty well 3 battery cages, which shows that...
Guys, that's my buddy Wesley. Some of you may have noticed that a lot of my thumbnails on my channel are just so professional and they look good. And you notice a contrast. You see me live, you're like, wait, that's what he looks like? And then you see my thumbnail and you're like, something's not right. Well, it's because Wesley here took some great photos of me, and that's why I have professionally done photos for my thumbnails. Okay. So Wesley took this. Hang on. I don't want to frighten you guys, but I have to do this. Wesley took all this and then turned this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. That was a good job, Wesley. Hang on. It's hard to do this from it. Hang on. Oh, shoot. I've messed up everything, guys. What did I have? Okay. I don't know what my tab is open. Oh, shoot. There it is. There it is. No, that's wrong. So, you know, if you're ever in the situation where you want lies to be told about how you look, Wesley can do that for you.
if the birds were allowed to spread their wings inside the cage, then the cages
Very
would have to
talented.
be at least 6 and if not 7 times the size that they are. It could be argued that this hen is quite different from those in the cages, but I must tell you that it's only 2 years since this one was set free from a cage. It was just the same as those 2 years ago. If we open the front of these cages, the birds should
Didn't notice.
run out just as though they're kids released from school. But you see, in fact, they don't do that because they've become institutionalized. They've never been used to anything except life in a cage.
Yeah, fixed it.
No civilization in the history has eaten animal produce like we eat it. And it's bad for us. And it's also bad for us because of the hormones and antibiotics that go into most modern production. For instance, all animals in factory farms are fed large doses of antibiotics over their lifespan. And these kill off not just the bad bacteria in the gut, they also kill off good bacteria. And they leave the system liable to invasion for much more dangerous strains of bacteria, and so worse diseases, in other words. And these can be transferred to humans when we consume the meat. And there's a very great danger that in the long run we may be leaving ourselves open to a disease with the potential to spread like typhoid, and we will have no drugs to treat them because our bodies have developed a resistance to those drugs. So in the long term, I think that modern meat production could be leading to very, very serious health problems.
Well, firstly, I wouldn't use the term hormones. I'd use the term growth motors.
Growth motors?
These hormones, I'd use the term growth motors. These growth motors...
Okay, you can call it whatever you want, but that doesn't change the fact that it's hormones.
And antibiotics are added to the feeds, and they're added by injection to the animal. The fact is that there has been a lot of problems. There's undoubtedly, we can't dispute this in the meat industry, there are a lot of problems as regards antibiotic and growth motor additions. But there are very stringent guidelines being introduced as to the use of these products. For example,
I was scared there for a second, but thank God they introduced stringent guidelines.
the EEC have completely banned the use of growth motors. We in England have clamped down on the use of synthetic antibiotics, and we're only using natural antibiotics. By that term, I mean that we're only using natural growth motors, such as the growth hormone that we find in our own bodies.
Do you know the difference? I don't call what she said words. I call them poop motors. Wait, no, poop. Poop. Just poop. That's not what you just said. Is not what I call words. I would use the word poop.
Between battery and free-range eggs? That leaflet will tell you.
2 miles away from Brighouse Centre. We've been to the farm this morning. We couldn't get near, but these hens were taken out of that farm about 2 or 3 months ago, and this is the condition they were in. As long as you support battery eggs, this is how they live. You'll never ever be allowed to go in. You will never see them. But while you're buying eggs, you're encouraging this cruelty. So please, please, if you do eat eggs, buy free-range eggs. Free-range eggs are sold in the Whole Foods shop, which is on Commercial Street.
Have you ever considered why? What you said, even if it is true, that hens are kept in such conditions. It's basically because the consumer is only prepared to pay a price for eggs at the other end. If you go into any of the big supermarkets, the average consumer is only prepared to pay so much. You take the price of free-range eggs, it's much higher. It's basically the elite that can afford these free-range eggs. The average person on supplementary benefit, they don't have very much chance whether they like free-range eggs or not. And basically the producer is forced to produce a product that he can sell. So in a sense, people get what they look for. It is not the producer's fault in that sense. He is there to make a profit.
Well, how is it any less his fault? So it's the consumer's fault and it should be both, right? Yes, the consumer is at fault as well, but he's the one doing it. So
The next train to arrive at platform 6B, the 11:58 Dre's train in charter service to Ledbury. The 11:58 Dre's train in charter service
the Dre's train, that's the eye test.
to Ledbury. The 11:58 Dre's train charter service to Ledbury. Train approaching platform 6B.
We're here in Birmingham to join a trainload of protesters going to demonstrate outside Toxicol Laboratories in Ledbury, in Herefordshire. Toxicol is a private company where no medical research is carried out, but where cosmetic and other chemical testing is. Rats, beagles and rabbits die so that Toxicol can make money and manufacturers can say their products are safe for human use.
I just think it'd be cool if this actually was like real footage, and that's how normal everybody was acting around this giant bunny.
Make money and manufacturers can say their products are safe for human use.
Robert, could you tell me what is the Dre's test?
The Dre's test was introduced in 1944 and is one of the nastiest experiments carried out in British laboratories. All manner of noxious chemicals, including pesticides, shampoos, industrial chemicals, even light control gases, are put into the eyes of conscious rabbits. The test is allowed to proceed for 7 days to see the effects of damage on the eye. No pain relief is given.
I can in fact read the exact procedure if you'd like. The lower eyelid of the rabbit's right eye is gently pulled away from the eyeball to form a cup, and the specified dose is gently placed into the cup, ensuring that the syringe or spatula does not touch the eyeball or conjunctiva. After administration of the total dose, the eyelids are gently held together for at least 1 second, while very gently and slowly rotating the eyelids around the eyeball to ensure even distribution of the test substance. Do the animals suffer as a result of these tests? Well, if you've ever got anything like shampoo or soap in your eye, you'll know just how painful that is. In the rabbit's case, it's left in there for up to 72 hours with no pain relief at any time, and the animal is then killed at the end.
In British laboratories, animals are burned, blinded, scalded, poisoned to death, infected with diseases, made to smoke cigarettes, given electric shocks during behavioural experiments, and perhaps the worst of all, subject to warfare research, where they're shot with bullets, exposed to nerve gases and exposed to riot control gases. A horrifying catalogue of abuse.
I'm a research technician. I've spent 7 years working in the field of medical research. Particularly, we were looking at the effect of drug treatments during pregnancy and its effect on the fetus and on the newborn.
Why the fuck are you talking like that? Why are you doing that with your head? Who does that? It's as though she was mocking the music that was just playing. Well,
on animal drug treatments during pregnancy and its effect on the fetus. Technician. I'm a research technician. I've spent 7 years working in the field of medical research. Particularly, we were looking at the effect of drug treatments during pregnancy and its effect on the fetus and on the newborn animal.
is this why like that started? Like that, you know what I mean? Do y'all know what I'm saying? That I didn't know people actually did this. I thought people just were mocking things when they did. Never mind. I just did. I don't think I've seen someone who actually talks that way.
I'm also a postgraduate student with several sort of years experience
He's not.
with working with experimental animals.
He didn't do it.
My main area of research is actually in pain research. So
I'm a research technician. I've spent 7 years working in the field of medical research. Particularly, we were looking at the effects of drug treatments during pregnancy and its effect on the fetus and on the newborn animal.
I'm also a postgraduate student with several sort of years experience with working with experimental animals. My main area of research is actually in pain research. So we're interested in mechanisms which go towards inducing a painful experience in animals.
Well, that's good. That, you need to do important research on that. Like, getting shampoo in someone's eye. I don't know how you could figure out whether that's painful or not. I just don't. I don't see a way. Oh, okay. I take that back. Maybe we could go get some rabbits and put chemicals into their eyes, and then maybe that'll tell us whether it hurts when shampoo gets in our eyes.
With obvious implications, in relation to humans.
PhD.
And so my work involves using
PhD, please. Hand it. Honorary PhD, please.
Animals which are completely anesthetized.
One particular type of research I did, we were looking at the effect of...
Oh, sorry. PhD, please. Do you think she makes that sound too? Do you think she goes... Like when you're talking to her, is she like... It's just weird. Her posture's strange.
...is taken during pregnancy.
Can't get over it.
For this, we would take a pregnant rat, we would give her the drug, eye stomach tube, because we wish to approximate the way that a human would take it. For this, you just hold the animal up by the scruff of its neck and introduce...
I can get you that, Wesley. But the Animal People is about the Shat campaign, not the ALF. But I have a means. I can get that for you. Highly recommend people watch Animal People. It's very cool. Very cool. Yep, NILF. Yeah, you can find it. I think I know a specific site.
A tube through its mouth down into its stomach. This is not a painful procedure, and in fact, if you're doing it every day, you find that very quickly the animals get used to it and cooperate with you. They actually open their mouths for the tube to go down. You administer the drug for the prescribed length of time, allow the animal to come to the end of her pregnancy. If you want to look at the effect on the physical structure of the offspring, you have to perform a cesarean section. At the end of the experiment, of course, you do have to kill the animals. It's not practical to keep them, and of course they would die naturally anyway. The lifespan of a rat is only something like 3 years.
Well, you have to kill them. Otherwise, they would die of old age.
My animals would be killed by an overdose of an anaesthetic.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
We put them in a chamber filled with chloroform, and they would just go unconscious and eventually die as a result of that. It's not at all painful or inhumane. A common method of killing a very small animal, such as a mouse, is by breaking its neck. You simply hold the back of its neck and pull on its tail, and the whole vertebral column is separated immediately, and the animal is dead. It's very easy to do. That a mouse's neck is very fragile, so it doesn't suffer in any way. It's instantly dead. It's in fact the same principle as judicial hanging.
Ooh.
We have a strange set of values.
Ugh, that little grin at the end.
Its
Evil.
neck is very fragile.
Evil. I got chills, guys. It's like we're watching a horror film.
so it doesn't suffer in any way. It's instantly dead. It's, in fact, the same principle as judicial hanging.
It's just like hanging. Ooh. Maybe they should make a mask of her.
We have a strange set of values in our society. We have a law.
It's just like lethal injection.
A law which Brian says, a law which actually allows the infliction of pain and suffering on innocent creatures. And not just that, the scientists that do those experiments actually receive prizes for their work. What sort of value is that? Vivisection may be legal at the moment, but there is a higher law, a moral law. And every time a scientist vivisects an animal, he breaks that higher.
Brian just donated. Thank you, Brian. Oh, Brian wasn't here, so he might not get that reference. Thank you so much, Brian. That's so nice of you. Let me see if I have the thing. I got to bring up the other stream, but I saw it on the Streamlab this time, or not the stream, the StreamYard. I can't keep all these stream things straight. StreamYard, Streamlabs, Golden Streams. It's hard to keep it track. Can't even get my words right. Now I'm just thinking of Golden Streams. I just lost this. Man. I had to go to my own channel to pull this up. And I knew where my sub count was before this stream. It went down. Down. That's the wrong direction, guys. Who's not subbed? Sub. Hit like, hit subscribe. Wrong direction, guys. Completely wrong direction. Which, there we go. There we go. Just want to give that a little heart. Thank you so much, Brian. You rock. Brian, we had a good time last night, didn't we? During Copycat. Guys, you missed it because it was very late. Most of y'all missed it because you are sensible people. But Brian and I, we were cats. Okay, we were cats. A lot of you missed my meow stream. It was actually sad. It was a sad meow stream. You know, Jayesh, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a minute. Okay.
Moral law. I would like to correct some of the mistaken ideas about those of us who make our living directly or indirectly through experiments on animals. As our colleagues at the Research Defense Society have said, scientists too love animals, and we are no exception to this. In any case, most procedures use only rodents and are simple injections or feeding experiments. But remember, we are the experts. We know what we are doing. Trust us. We have the best interests of the animals at heart.
Spot on. Spot on. That's every researcher I've ever known. Spot on. Come on, Casey. Get on up there.
Everything we do is strictly in accordance with the law. It is true that the 1876 Cruelty to Animals Act allows animals to suffer pain in experiments. But one must remember that this is a small price to pay for developing a whole range of such vital new products. And I must stress that we are visited by Home Office inspectors who must know what they're doing. because most of them have previously been vivisectors. Although there are only 15 inspectors to oversee over 500 registered laboratories and over 3.5 million experiments a year, I'm sure they do the best they can. After all, look how efficient they were at the Royal College of Surgeons. Right?
There's nothing down there, they're empty. It's all empty. Get here!
The dog's in there, Mum.
Everyone out! Sir, it's gone out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
I think we'll probably go to prison for this. We can't present the facts to the jury. That is
acquitted.
Considered irrelevant in this trial. They're only considering what we did, not why we did it.
According to this judge, pet stealing, vivisection, animal
acquitted
abuse, or conditions animal kept in are totally irrelevant to this case and got nothing to do with it, which basically wipes out any reason why I did the raid.
Nobody wants to go to prison. Nobody wants to be a martyr. There's no virtue in going to prison at all. But the recognised channels don't seem to be working. The government aren't taking any notice of us. The factory farmers aren't. The vivisectors aren't. Somebody has to do something about it. And if that means that I have to go to prison, then so be it.
In this country, I think a lot of people would like to ignore what's going on behind these closed doors. But once you actually see what's happening, you meet people and you find out that these stories aren't horror tales. They're actually true. They're true horror stories. And the more you become involved, the more you think the public have got to know this because they'll want it stopped.
Yeah, direct action is a difficult one. The public often are opposed to certain forms of direct action. But I think it's important to say that in the animal rights movement as a whole, direct action is only one part of it. There's literally thousands of people out every day campaigning peacefully, which never makes the press because it's not newsworthy. As well as that, of all the violence that the animal rights movement has ever indulged in, it's nothing compared to what is actually going on behind the closed doors of laboratories. The argument that the animal rights movement is full of violent people who are out to hurt other people just doesn't stand when you realise what they're up against. The kind of stuff went on inside Toxicol, that's real violence. They're the real extremists.
Veterinary research, dental research, every form of research which is taking place involving animals has benefited those people. And for them to turn around and slap sort of scientists all over the world in the face by sort of breaking into their homes, breaking into laboratories, harassing families, intimidating them, it seems to me quite appalling. You know, I think we should support the medical scientist in general for what he has done.
If you take our society as a whole and consider all the byproducts of the meat industry, we have pet foods, we have clothing, our woolly jumpers, our leather shoes, our chemicals, pharmaceuticals, soaps. Like, our society is geared around the production of these goods. What alternatives have we? Their shoes, we have. If you take our society as a whole,
what alternatives do we have to
consider all the byproducts of the meat industry?
I'll help you.
We have pet foods, we have
vegan pet food.
clothing.
You ever heard of cotton? Huh? Rubber? I mean, you're talking about shoes and, hey, oh, man.
Woolly jumpers or leather shoes.
Vegans can wear jumpers.
Or chemicals, pharmaceuticals.
Chemicals? Thought like everybody who criticizes vegans, they're like, I won't eat chemicals. What's that made out of? Chemicals? Soybeans, sea salt, wasabi powder. Chemical. Probably that's a chemical to them. Wasabi powder. That's wasabi oil and dextrin. I don't even know what dextrin is. Fuck. No more.
Soaps. Like our society is geared around the production of these goods.
Oh, yeah. So many soaps are made out of vegetable oils, you moron. Just bought some today. Coconut oil.
What alternatives have we?
I just told you, you're not listening. Odd musical choices.
Why can't you let us do that killing things in there? The light's not the Don't you understand? Don't you understand?
Maybe
Don't you understand?
No.
They're killing things. Can't you see? Can't you see?
BBC again. But that one was better. That was good. I enjoyed that. What's up, Allison? ABC. Nerds. You guys. Everybody's showing up right at the end. All right, I'll pull up one more video. One more video. Because I hate to disappoint. You guys missed a good one. That was pretty good. All right. What next, guys? What next? Undercurrents. Rabbits don't cry. I don't think we want to do that one. Hunt sabs. Done a lot of hunt sabbing on the channel. Watching the hunt sabs. Chat campaign. Watch animal people like Wesley's about to do. A lot of hunt sab stuff. Always. What's this? Let's check this out. Oh. Southeast Animal Liberation League video featuring news clips and interviews covering both the abuse of monkeys at the Royal College of Surgeons plus the use of stolen pets in experiments. That'll be on the same theme as what we just watched, so let's do that.
Animal rights activists have broken into a laboratory in Kent and say they have evidence for the first time that monkeys and stolen pet dogs are being used in experiments. The Southeast Animal Liberation League say the monkeys are being kept in cramped conditions at the Royal College of Surgeons research farm near Orpington. The college deny...
I do know. You'll not know about this guy, Rod Coronado? He's essentially a hunt sab up in Vermont. Check out this book, by the way. It's brand new. I haven't read it yet because it just came out a couple months ago. But check out my interview with Rod Coronado. And anyway, there are groups that I mean, Rod right now, I don't think is hunt sabbing. He's sort of working within the law, but yeah, I don't know. I'll look up his Vermont wildlife. They did it in Wisconsin and Vermont. I'm not sure.
Having any stolen animals and say the monkeys are not used for live surgery.
The group themselves filmed the break-in by about 60 of their members this morning. They claim to have uncovered slides and files which they later copied. The slides are all of monkeys. According to the Royal College of Surgeons, monkeys are
You can quote me on
used,
that.
but not for vivisection. According to the Home Office, there's nothing new in their use. Until 1980, it wasn't necessary to specify that the license was required for a monkey. Only then were they given the same status as horses, requiring specification. But the protesters say today was a complete success.
All about 6 months preparation work went into it, where small groups were going to the laboratory and looking around it, photographs taken with telephoto lenses, and we also wanted to see where the police would be coming from and how long they would take to get to the site after the alarm was raised. Well, we did have some information provided internally, and we did three plans, 2 external plans and 1 internal plan, and each person was given a copy of these and also a plan of action. It was stressed that it would be a lightning raid into 2 units, the monkey unit and the dog unit, and that the minimal damage and breakage would take place. We went in there to get the files out, and we estimated that we'd be in there no longer than 10 minutes, after which the alarm would be given to get out, and we'd have to make our exit as quickly as possible.
The main point to make about this raid, apart from the actual planning of the raid itself, is to plan the follow-up, and to plan the follow-up in terms of the media. Now, on the Royal College of Surgeons, within 3 hours of the raid happening, ITN provided with a video of the dogs and some slides of the monkeys and some documents. Their documents we copied. We'd already had film developed, and it was at the Daily Mirror. So the point is that we presented the information and the news very quickly, which gives them time to go through it, present and get a good story, which is what we got. Because we were on headlines on ITN, got TVAM coverage.
As you may have heard on the news, members of a group calling itself the Southeast Animal Liberation League yesterday broke into the research establishment run by the Royal College of Surgeons in Kent. They came out with some disturbing pictures, followed by some very dramatic allegations. Lou Radford reports.
50 animal activists were involved in the raid. Using an amateur camera crew, they filmed several breeds of dog inside the research establishment's kennels. The activists claim that because the dogs are not beagles, the breed normally used for experiments, they come from sources other than those officially approved. They claim that they found documents proving that the Royal College of Surgeons is using these dogs for experiments. Close inspection of these documents reveals lists of various breeds, including Old English Sheepdog and Springer Spaniel. One document refers to a male Alsatian, described as an oldish, friendly dog, but a little wary. The raiders believe this example is proof that the animals were once domestic pets and were never bred for experimentation. They claim the establishment gets such dogs from unauthorized dealers who have bought or stolen pets from unsuspecting owners. The group also obtained slides of monkeys undergoing experiments, allegedly the first time such photographic evidence has been taken in Britain. The Home Office has been quick to point out that experiments on monkeys have been taking place here for many years, and that since 1980, anyone experimenting on monkeys is legally bound to apply for a special license. Anyone with such a license is carefully monitored by Home Office inspectors who check that animals are not suffering. But yesterday's discovery of documents apparently relating how monkeys died possibly of shock after hanging from inside their cages, are, claim the activists, proof that appalling cruelty is rampant.
Well, with me now is John Williams, spokesperson for the Southeast Animal Liberation League. John, good morning to you. I'm sure that many people would sympathise with your cause, but they wouldn't sympathise or agree with your action, your deed in breaking into this building. How do you justify an illegal act?
Well, firstly, it's very hard to have any respect for a law which allows that kind of cruelty to animals. And secondly, if people weren't willing to just put a few doors in, you'd never have seen this, because no vivisector will ever let you or an MP or the RSPCA into a laboratory.
Nevertheless, I'm sure you must concede that whatever the cause, if everyone behaved in this way, we'd have anarchy, wouldn't we? We cannot, allow people to behave like this.
Oh, we cannot allow people to behave like this, but you allow people to behave like they're behaving to those animals. So maybe you should reframe that and rethink that, because maybe what we can't have is what's happening and what they're trying to stop. But you're putting it all on the activist whose hand was forced by his moral conscience.
Yeah, to get it in perspective, what happened yesterday, people went in, broke a few doors in, a few windows, caused absolutely minimal damage. They could have smashed the place up, but they didn't. They went in there to show the public what's going on. And I think sometimes Martin Luther King showed it, Gandhi showed it. Occasionally, you have to break the law.
All right, let's have a look at examine the evidence you found. You've got some documents on your knee there. We saw them in Lou Radford's report there, suggesting anyway that some of the dogs in there are stolen dogs. They're from breeders who've picked them up illegally. I've looked at those documents too. I agree with you that is a suggestion, but there's no definitive proof, is there?
Well, there is, because the Medical Research Council has lists of accredited breeders. That means breeders they recognise. There is only one dog produced for laboratory experiments in Britain. That's the Beagle. About 95% of all dogs produced are a Beagle. There are a few Labradors bred. Other than that, no other dogs whatsoever are bred for vivisection. And I've got a list of the dogs we've actually photographed, and people can refer to us for the photos of pointers, collies, Springer Spaniels, mongrels, Labradors, Alsatians, red setters, terriers, greyhounds. The list is absolutely endless. And as you can also see from these files, it's quite clear that these are ex-pets. It describes little scars they've got, little mannerisms they've got. So clearly, if people are able to see these and we can get them to a wide audience, we're confident that someone in the country will recognise their dog.
But is it likely, John, that a body such as the Royal College of Surgeons would behave in this way?
Well, it's absolutely likely, and the reason is that they're a registered charity, and unlike
in this, is it likely, John, that a body...
We're confident that someone in the country will recognise their dog.
But is it likely, John, that a body such as the Royal College of Surgeons would behave in this way?
He can't wrap his head around it, that an institution with a lot of prestige and power could do something wrong? Is this BBC again? You just can't imagine that.
Well, it's absolutely likely, and the reason is that they're a registered charity, and unlike ICI or Beecham's, who can afford to buy beagles, a registered charity such as a university or a hospital, because they're also linked, Guy's Hospital's linked, they can't afford to buy those dogs, so they're willing to go to unscrupulous dealers.
It is denied by them, I should point out. And I must put one other point to you, that unpalatable as it may be to you and thousands, if not millions, of pet lovers all over the country, the fact remains that these experiments are being done for medical research. Now, if we are to advance medical research and medical understanding, isn't this something that, regrettably, we have to accept?
Vivisection has absolutely nothing to do with health. The main motive of all vivisection is healthy profits for the drug companies in the end, not healthy people.
Are you absolutely positive about that? Because isn't it quite likely that through this kind of research and these kind of experiments, medical science itself could be improved? I mean, they might actually one day be saving a human life. Now, surely, again, unpalatable as it is to you, it's better to save a human life and sacrifice a few animals.
Well, first of all, I mean, everyone watching this has seen drug disasters coming up every week.
NILF. NILF? Don't leave me without sweet nothings. Come on now. Speak your mind, NILF. Don't leave anything. Come on. Give me something good that I can put up there. Nope. Come on, NILF.
Fast. All those drugs are tested on thousands of animals. And the other point we'd make is that We find it morally unacceptable. Animals have certain rights, and we believe they have the right not to be vivisected. And if you really want a healthy country, we should start a better diet, better lifestyle, less stress in people's lifestyle, because it will really be through preventive medicine that we're going to cure cancer and heart disease, which are, after all, the two big killers in Western society.
John Williams, thank you very much, Steve, for joining.
Orthodox medical world, of course,
That guy did great in that interview.
maintains that animals are being sacrificed to a good cause. But the result of their sacrifices inevitably leads medicine.
Is this guy for real?
Maintains that.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Got to learn from this guy. Okay.
Animals are being sacrificed to a good cause. But the result of their sacrifices inevitably leads medicine into the cul-de-sac of drug therapy. There are many other methods of treating mankind than merely through drugs and surgery. The thing that is basically wrong is that we are using dreadful methods, harmful, cruel methods on animals.
Oh, I thought I can't do it. I thought he was. Damn it. Guys, I thought he was with the other side. My bad. My bad. I'm sorry. You were saying. No, your lighting is great. I mean, perfect lighting. That's good. And your cadence. Very.
Produce harmful, cruel methods on animals to produce a system of treatment which is going nowhere anyway.
It's important, I think, to have someone
That's pretty good.
who
That's pretty
looks
good.
smart, like wear a tie, etc. Because that looks, from the point of view of the public, it looks good. You don't come across as guerrillas or terrorists. You just come across as average people. You need to have one person has the
I feel like
task really.
I feel like I still want to do it. I still want to do it. Because I mean, all right. All right. Just gonna wing this. The problem with the BBC is they make these documentaries without taking into account the victim of the actions of the animal exploiters. It's beyond them to consider that an institution such as, what was it called? Shit. Damn it. What was it called? Someone save me. I'm just going to make it up. What was it? It's impossible for them to imagine that an institution such as the Royal Academy of Surgeons would ever behave in such a manner as to procure dogs from unscrupulous. Fired? What? Come on. I'm doing my best here. This is how we do all our vids now. This is why we fail. We don't learn from history. Okay. The problem, Axel, is that you're too quick to fire me. You see, the main point that I'm making is that if you speak very slowly, such as this, and turn the light off, what you say carries far more weight. Damn, tough audience today. Tough audience. All right, give me a script to read then. How about that, Axel? You give me a script, I'll read it. I'm keeping the lights out just for dramatic effect. And because a lot of you guys have been here for a while and have seen enough. You guys have seen enough. Yeah, give me a script. I'll do it. No funny business now because I'll read every word. Okay. Where's the thing? Present. You guys missed it earlier. My professional photographer was here. Southeast, is that it? Yeah, that's it.
The upfront person, the person who's going to go on the television, go on the media, who they can contact. The media would like to have someone they contact. So it's important to have a car ready to take people up to Fleet Street. It's important to have photocopying equipment and have developing equipment and get it all done as quickly as possible. The second aspect of the follow-up is to get the follow-up of the campaign itself. In this case, 10,000 leaflets have gone out within a couple of weeks of the raid happening in the area which we believe the dogs are coming from. Additionally, we've done large blow-ups of the photographs of the dogs, and things are planned, a number of different things at all different levels are planned for the Royal College of Surgeons. So, but in a more general instance, it's important that while you're planning the raid...
Allison watched the Meow stream. So the question for the rest of you is, have you watched the Meow stream? Brian watched it. Did the rest of you watch my Meow stream? Did you? Did you? I did that super late last night. I drank too much coffee last night.
You plan in advance what you want to do afterwards. So it might be a good idea as soon as the raid's over to have a demonstration there 3 or 4 days later. See, the point is that certain elements in our movement, certain people are still preaching the fact that all we should be doing is rescuing animals and smashing up laboratories. Well, both those are very excellent pursuits, but in themselves, they're not attracting the media they were originally. 5 years ago, taking beagles out, rescuing rabbits, etc., was publicity. It was newsworthy, but it isn't anymore. When we consulted papers before this event, they weren't really interested in the aspect of...
All right, I'll do it. Oh, that's quite small to read. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Those incompetent swine who claim they are not getting... shit, hang on. One more time. Don't fire me yet. Those incompetent swine who claim they are not gutting monkeys alive, caught in the act of lying for our most gracious activist. Not only this, but they can't even lie in good lighting, which sounds like a play on words. It does. Well done, Axel. Well done. Jayesh, good to see you. Thank you for hitting the like. Okay. I'm losing my abilities for presenting. Still on this
rescuing the animals. They're more interested in what's going on in the laboratory and in video coverage. So what it'd be nice if groups looked to the future and looked at being flexible in our approach. This raid was different from all the other SEAL raids. Obviously some areas I can't go into.
You know, when I watched In the Dark, it does feel like movie time. It does. Bring my foxy friends over here. Wish I had some popcorn.
For security reasons, but we were willing to examine the whole tactics of SEAL. An important point in any of these daytime raids is that when the video crew go in, they should be well protected and well guarded and helped by the animal rights activists, because they've got the task of carrying fairly heavy equipment. They've got to be worrying about things like light, sound, etc., and all the technical aspects. So it's very important that when you're on a raid, if you see video people, you show them around, you break doors for them or whatever, but you must aid them, because after all, what they're taking is the most important aspect of what you're doing. Perhaps the only thing that didn't go to plan in this whole event was what happened at the Daily Mirror. We took slides that were stolen slides to ITN. They were well aware they were stolen, and they were willing to use them. So we naturally assumed that the situation would be the same with the Daily Mirror. But we took some slides along, fortunately not all the slides, and we showed them that they realised they were good dramatic slides. So they took them. Now, unfortunately, on Monday, the next day, they informed us that they'd spoken to their lawyer, and their lawyer said that they should have to return those slides immediately to the police, which to our disgust and to our horror, they did. This meant that we didn't get the exclusive that the Mirror had promised. However, from the slight mistake we made with the Mirror, we did actually manage to get more press out of it, because the City Limits did an article condemning the Mirror, and also the issue got around Fleet Street, so it didn't do the Mirror's credibility much good. Again, but it's worth pointing.
Don't you sully the good name of the Daily Mirror.
Yeah, although the follow-up we got from the Mirror incident was not directly concerned with animal rights, it did still include the Royal College of Surgeons, all about stolen dogs and monkeys, etc. So it kept the issue going. But when we found that when you're handling the press, naturally you want to do the nationals first and the television channels. If you're doing the raid on the weekend, you can handle the nationals on the Sunday and the Monday, and possibly a bit on the Tuesday. By the Tuesday, you want to be hitting the local press. And we've had absolutely enormous front pages for 2 weeks on the trot, and it'll probably go on, we estimate, for another 2 months with front page and feature articles. And the reason is that, again, one person was out with front page.
Look at that headline: Animal Lib Gang Raid on College. That's a cool headline. A lot of what he's saying, I feel like, has just been upended anyway by social media. Like, the legacy media just doesn't have that much power anymore. As much as it is a great thing when animal rights orgs or whoever, gets good media coverage, but I mean, the problem is a lot of that media coverage now is behind a paywall that nobody's paying for. So, yeah, it's almost like when you get a key story, like say in the New York Times or something, then it's almost, I feel like it's almost bigger that they share it on their Instagram or their Facebook, where few people are actually going to read the story because you're paywalled. I mean, I realize the media is in a hard place, but do you want people to read your stories? Because the paywall, it's just not. No, like you just can easily find the story another way.
And feature articles. And the reason is that, again, one person was allocated to deal with the local press. And the reason is that, again, for another 2 months.
They could have headlined Animal Lib Rant on Media.
With front page and feature articles. And the reason is that, again, one person was allocated to deal with the local press. Someone who had good contacts, who had worked with them before, was able to provide the press with everything. It's very important when you're dealing with the locals that you have the photographs, that you have copies of the documents, so that you can go along and say, look, here you are. Perhaps you can highlight certain items in the documents. But if you can just give the press the material, give them a few statements, you can then go away and they can do it at their leisure. Again, of course, it's important that you only give them copies.
Oh boy. Just saw a little screen grab of what is ahead. These are sad photos. I didn't even understand what that was. I mean, something in their mouth, obviously, but I hear the music very dimly. How we doing, guys? We all right?
Three and a half.
Actually, if you look here, we've got
That was a heavy picture show.
Oh, but I think all the way out.
I'm gonna go round and have a look around the back.
Yeah.
You can't actually get around these that way, though. Put off decent barbed wire.
Do you know what, guys? I bet you anything that there were some people who were tuned into that and weren't really paying attention. And then because we went silent, I bet a lot of people were like, wait, what happened to the feed? And then they clicked on and then they saw those photos. And once you see those photos, you can't unsee those photos. So there, that's good.
No.
Always fighting.
Not surprised. Yeah, you can see him.
So what airline is it then?
British Midland have stopped transporting monkeys for research.
But yeah, there was like So there's loads of different animals out there. I suppose there must still be about the thing last week then.
Why?
You scummy! I've seen it. Oh, anybody else want to see him? Thank God you're getting an old man to come out and do your dirty work. That faces yourself.
Who's these?
I don't know. How's your transport situation? Plankton. Oh, where's Plankton, was it?
Come back in that envelope. Yeah.
Those barrels. Yeah.
What? What?
Oh. You feel better from that? Does it give you some sort of satisfaction? Oh, what are you hiding behind the gate? Does it make up for your inadequacies? Does it make up for your inadequacies?
Does it make up for your inadequacies?
And you turn around the corner! Right in hell! Why don't you come out and face us instead of turning your back away? Yeah, you've got to hide. Of a drill, isn't it, or a saw? Scum! Well, that didn't take long, did it? No.
Nice hat. So intimidating. What's with the dong hats in the UK? I don't get it. The hunters wear dong hats. Police wear dong hats.
We're like a sunbathe that way.
It's all in time really when you think that
Here they come.
Lock up the badger set anyway, isn't it? So we're outside, we're unlocking the house. Or I've been out with people.
You son of a bitch! You know Don't worry, we know where you come from! You scum! You disgusting
I beat you to it, Mary.
You may well have your face! We know where you live! You disgusting people! You scum!
A little has changed. Even the penis hats. Cheating. Oh. Oh, not
In an
politics.
unexpected-
Not politics. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. I do like Brian Tyler Cohen, though. Shout out Brian Tyler Cohen. Good channel. Good channel. All right. Well, okay. Right then. So there you have it. 4 videos. Some of you saw 4, some 3, some 2, some but 1. We've all grown. We've all learned things. I believe we have learned things about each other. We have learned about, what did we learn? Damn it. I need some coffee. There we go. We have learned that Jeremy functions best when given coffee. Much coffee. And not simply a Waterloo of the flavor grape. Mary didn't want to know those things. Mary told me earlier today that there was too much content for her. Too much. For some, a meow stream is one video too many. For some, a chill stream is just enough. But we all know a meow stream is just what is needed. I wish I could do another meow stream, but I think I'm out of cat games. Fox games, out of them. Yeah, the cat game, right, Allison? It was heavy. It was pretty heavy. Wasn't expecting that. Gotta say though, pretty good game. Copycat. I know I'm losing some of you. Some of you guys are like, "What the hell is he talking about? Meow streams, cat game." Well, you have to go back and look. Yeah, the meow stream was kind of sad. That's two sad cat games. Stray was sad. Copycat was sad. Endling was devastating. Spooky. Yeah, that's right. Become. Oh, thank you so much, Spooky. You're so nice. What do you want, Spooky? What do you want? Oh, I know what you want. You want Call of Duty. But I don't own a Call of Duty game. I'll just have to find something. I'll probably stream in a bit if people are still awake. Yeah. Thanks for joining, everybody. Hit like, hit subscribe somehow. I don't know how, guys. Sometimes you start a stream with a certain number of subs. You end the stream. I'm like a kid on Christmas Day running to the sub count, expecting +1, only to find -1. Who did that? Who did that? I think sometimes people just, delete their channels. I think that's what happens, because it's not like you would watch my stream and be like, nah, no more. No more. I'm done with that. No way. So anyway, anybody who's not subbed, you know what to do so that we don't end in the negative. Because right now we're in the negative. And that makes me very sad. Very, very sad. I bet it was you, Mary. I bet it was. All right. Thank you guys for joining, and maybe see some of y'all soon. And have a good night. Nilf, I know you're still there. Don't act like you're not there. Good night, Nilf. And thank you so much, Spooky. At some point I'll get a Call of Duty when one of them goes on sale or something. Bye, Mary. Bye, Spooky. Bye, Allison. Bye, Axel. Bye, Brian. Nerds. Take care. Satan. Steven. Good night. Okay. Good night. Okay. This is actually just a test, just to see how long y'all will sit here with me while nothing's happening. It's a test. It's a loyalty test to see who cuts out before the stream goes dead. Sometimes there are Easter eggs. Sometimes there are encores. Did you guys think of that? Did you think about there's an encore? Did you realize there's an encore? I actually just thought of doing an encore right now. You know what? For the people who stuck around, look, there's only 12 now. There was 20 before. There was 20. We're doing an encore, people. Just a quick one, though. Just because that would be funny. I don't know. Let me back up. Brian. Tyler Cohen. Okay, quick encore. Hang on. Guys, I can do this. I swear I can do it. I can do this. Raid on the University of Iowa.
The Animal Liberation Front is claiming responsibility for vandalism at the University of Iowa over the weekend. ALF says all animals on the third floor of the UI Psychology Department were removed, examined, and treated by a sympathetic veterinarian. All 401 animals, 88 mice, and 313 rats were placed in loving homes. Additionally, 2 animal labs and 3 offices were broken into, and all contents relating to animal research were destroyed. ALF also says they were responsible for destroying dozens of computers, surgical equipment, paperwork, and more. The ALF also wanted to make their message clear. They say, quote, "We're watching, and by axe, drill, or crowbar, we're coming through your door."
Hey, don't make me laugh during an ALF video. Guys. Well, now I'm definitely getting a copyright on this video, but whatever. I don't care. I do what I want. You hear that, Spooky? I'm actually scared. I'm actually scared. They got me a warning. I'm not scared of you, Mary. I'm not scared of you. You know who sets the rules. Oh. I have to pause it, I think, every now and then, just to not get... I don't know if I can risk it. I know there's... I don't think songs are a big... I don't know. Brian sitting there by himself like a dope. Brian. You should have known that there were multiple streams. Here I am talking to everybody, Brian. Just... There's 2 streams for the folks that don't know, because there's a vertical. So if you like to see me skinny, you can see me skinny. Or if you like fat Jeremy, you can see me fat. It's up to you. Mute the sound. Yeah, you're probably right. Could do that. Just watch that. It's not as cool, though. Damn. Definitely not as cool. It's not really an encore if you don't have music. What? What was that? You know what, Axel? I didn't think it was either. And then I didn't do it one time. And then Kane was in here all like, Jeremy, I only watch you when you're horizontal. I can't watch you vertical. So I had to do it again. Just had to do it again. So it is a little tricky. It is a little tricky. You know what, guys? Haven't we seen enough animal abuse today? Let's call it. That's enough, I think. You feel me, guys? Cutting the encore short. One, the music is a risk. And then two, more animal abuse. All right. Yeah, well, you tell Kane. All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for joining. Take care. Oh, Ben. All right. One more video for Ben. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Thanks for joining, Ben. Maybe I'll see you in a bit. Take care.